The Texas City Dike. Well, right across the bay from Texas City Dike.
All right.
All right, well, let's just get going, shall we? Celebrating 10 years. Are we celebrating it? I don't think we are. Never mind that. 10 years of car talk. It's the In Wheel Time Car Show today, coming to you live from Woody's third annual Waterfront Car Show at the Topwater Grille in San Leon, Texas. The Texas City Dike is right there, just so you'll know. Coming up, we talk to some of the folks in attendance here at today's car show. We need more. Jeff will review his pre-owned car of the week, the 2018 Lincoln Continental.
Yep.
We got the racing calendar. We'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars down there at the other end of the table. And that would be, we need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
Over here we have King Conrad DeLong. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Thanks so much. This segment of In Wheel Time sponsored by Garages of Texas.
Yep.
Luxury garage suites. Put a roof over your ride. So glad that you could join us today. It is an absolutely stunningly gorgeous day. If you were to order weather in, this would be it.
Beautiful.
It's probably 70 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky, a light breeze down here on the bay. Did you show him a picture of what you got over there in your menu, Mr. Zekin? Or do you have that?
Oh, well, let me do this.
We're right on top of it as always.
Yeah.
We've only had 2 hours to get this all set up.
When you
and,
said
know,
menu, I was
Here
thinking
we
of
go.
food.
Here we go.
I was thinking food.
Were you thinking food?
I was
Well, at
thinking
any
food.
rate, I can tell you there's water all around us, and not too many boats because I guess they're all out on the bay doing their
There's a fishing tournament or something.
Yeah,
something.
fishing tournament going on.
That's why I'm hungry. Fish.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes you hungry.
Yeah.
I
Clams.
did not know that
I like clams.
about you. Well, at any rate, let's get on with our first guest, shall we? His name is Robert Smith. He runs Big Dog's Garage.
What?
Yeah, and he's brought a collection of his cars here today that are pretty spectacular, I have to tell you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So it's good to see you. How you been?
I've been good.
Have you?
Yeah.
How come we've never met before?
I don't know.
Where you been? Where do you hang out?
In the Big Dog's garage.
Big Dog's Garage in
Yeah.
Magnolia,
Where is
Texas.
Big Dog's Garage?
It is in Magnolia, Texas.
Ooh, Magnolia, Texas. Okay. Out there in God's country, up on the north side. Yeah, I've been up there. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine owns a company called Sweet Rides. Do you happen to hang out over there?
No, I don't.
No, Mark Rancourt is the guy's name. And he did a fantastic job on the paint job on my 1966 Corvette. At any rate, and I mean, he does really nice work out there, Sweet Rides in Magnolia, Texas.
Okay.
But at any rate, so do you do this for a living?
No, I don't. I'm an electrical contractor.
You're an electrical contractor, but you clearly have the passion for cars.
I do, and I've had it for a while, and I finally got the opportunity to be able to
Do something about it.
Do something
Act
about
on
it.
Well, let's start with the blue Corvette, since that's the one that's up here in front.
All right.
So tell me about it. What year is it?
That's a 1967 Corvette. I just actually purchased that one a 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a new
This is-
edition.
This is a new addition to the collection. 67, and it's a roadster, but it's a resto mod, I guess.
Well, it is a resto mod. It was built at Bob's Auto Express in Spring, Texas.
Okay,
Bob does a lot of resto mod work.
right. So let's start with the exterior first. I see it's got a couple of roll hoops in there. That's not stock.
No, that's not stock. Bob had that put in. He actually took the soft top out to be able to install that. So
Okay.
I have a hard top for
Did
it.
he build the car for himself or built it for you?
He built it for himself, and then he builds a lot of cars, so he's ready to move on to something else.
Gotcha.
And,
So how old is the resto mod? Is when he obviously he built it for himself. He had it for a while, and then you bought it.
I'm going to probably say it's only been built for about a year. He actually put it through Beacom's auction when it was here in town.
Yep.
And it didn't reach his expectation. And brought it back home, and then, of course, I
Got an eye on it.
got an eye on it. We've been talking about it for several months now, and I was over at his shop the other day going over some things on my other vehicles he's
Yep.
working on. And I just said, Bob, we going to do anything with this? He said, he finally got down to a number I could,
Right.
and
Something that you could live.
we shook hands, and
And now you got it.
I have it.
And so, have you had a chance to drive it much?
Not a whole lot, but
You did find out what the accelerator pedal does.
oh yeah, he built it right. It's about 800 to the flywheel.
Oh my gosh.
800 horsepower to the flywheel.
And
Nice.
what's the powertrain?
The powertrain's an LS3.
Okay.
He's got.
But that's not all.
No, he's done some extra port and polish. It's got a 2300 Magnuson
Okay.
supercharger on it.
Well, there.
So the Magnuson sits in the valley,
Right.
in the head valley. Generally, they look very nice.
Yeah,
And
he's got this one done good. I mean, you can actually. It's got a ZR1 hood on it, so it has where you can see the motor from the hood.
Okay. Oh wow, I didn't notice that. From here, it looked like it was a Stinger hood,
Yeah,
but he's put a clear top on the blower.
right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at the roll hoops on the interior. Anything custom else on the interior?
Pretty much everything. I mean, the interior is pretty much custom. I mean, leather seats and everything. Custom gauges. I mean, it's
And transmission?
transmission on this one. I believe it's the
Is it an automatic?
it's automatic.
Okay. So it probably,
And it's built withstand the power of the car.
well, as you say, with a little smirk on your face.
Right.
Well, the other
I
thing
mean, it's a custom frame, C5 suspension. So
is it really?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So how many clutches have you had?
No, this isn't a clutch. This is
Oh,
an automatic.
automatic. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear.
But visually, 67 Stinger hood, side pipes, and the faux knockoff wheels. Which the faux knockoff wheels weren't 67, but they look gorgeous.
Right. Those were custom built for it also.
Okay.
So,
Of course
I
they
mean,
were.
He spared no expense for it.
Yeah. Well, clearly. And I had no clue that it was, a custom frame with a lot of C5 stuff on it.
Right.
Very nice. Well, let's move on to the second one that you've got over there. And is it a Willis?
It is. It's a 41. It's a outlaw body,
Okay. I'm not familiar with an outlaw body.
Fiberglass?
fiberglass.
Glass body, okay.
Built by Outlaw, which is one of the top of the line, from what I understand and read up on.
Yeah. Well,
I try to read up on as much before I
buy it.
purchase.
Well, I'll
yeah.
tell you what, that's a beautiful car. Matter of fact, when you rolled in here, I said, I can't tell you how many of those things I saw got rumpled up, crumpled up, and destroyed at Myers Speedway back in the 1960s. Well, I mean, that's what most of the super modifieds ran with, that body style, 34 Fords, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, got a very small cabin. You sit shoulder to shoulder with whoever else is in there.
That's correct.
But it's cool. There's no doubt about it. So what kind of motors that got in it?
That's got a 502 fuel injected crate motor.
Now, why is there not a smirk on your face when you tell me that?
It's got a little bit of power too.
Yeah, it
I think
does.
it's got some torque.
It's got some torque. It's got the 700 R4 transmission on it.
I was going to say, how many clutches have you put in? That's my question of the day.
Jeff gives
Every
one.
day. Yeah.
That's the only question he knows.
That's the only one I
And
know.
it's got a set of big old fatties on the back.
It does
yeah.
have some fatties on there.
Yeah, you don't go around corners real fast with that.
Mickey
No, you
Thompson's.
don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then-
Okay.
And then what's the chassis under that?
The chassis under there, I can't remember, to
It's
be
a-
honest
it's a
with
custom
you.
chassis.
It is a custom chassis.
And did you buy that car somewhat finished?
I buy all my cars somewhat finished.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
build them.
Good for you.
Okay.
Let them spend all the money and you enjoy them.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've done other things in the past and spent the money, and
You could put a bunch of money in a car.
I've got one in the shop now. It's on its third redo. I've probably got close to a lot of money in this one here.
You got more in it than your wife knows.
What is it? What kind is it that you got working?
It's a 57 Chevy Bel Air.
Okay.
And when I originally purchased it, it was a drag car.
Oh.
So,
And you've turned it into a street car?
Yes, I got out of the drag racing and turned it. I loved my car, so I turned it into a street rod here about 3 years ago. Put an LS2 in it. Air conditioning, power windows, power hood, power trunk. So it's been sitting for a while, and decided I wanted to do something else with it. And I've never had a blower car, so now I've got a 871 blower going on it right now. It's in the shop, almost done.
So is it obviously going to stick through the hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
You have to look around it to see the red light.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
Hopefully, I'll get it to a show before the end of the year.
Oh, really? Are you trying to get it ready for Autorama by any chance?
No, actually the 4 that are sitting out there are going to Autorama.
Are they?
Okay.
Oh, very nice. Well, we should be there too.
Okay.
So we can
great.
say hello again.
I've got those 4, and I've got a custom show bike that I've taken.
Oh.
And do you drive these cars on a regular basis or as often as you can?
I try to. I mean, the red Corvette, I've probably driven it the most. I picked it up one day. I was sitting in my driveway and waiting on a concrete guy, and I'm going through Marketplace, and it came up, and
I got to have it.
I like that. And I've seen the price on it, and they've already reduced. I wonder what's wrong with it. So I called him, and they said, well, we got somebody coming to look at it. We'll call you if you don't. So about 2 hours later, I'm still there in my driveway, and
Phone rings.
phone rings. Hey, he never showed up. So
You interested? Yeah, I'm interested. I'll take it.
That's right. So, I went all the way. They're about an hour away from me over in a little town of Brenham, Texas.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I know where Brenham is.
And went over there, and it was sitting in a unclimate-controlled building.
Nice.
And anyway, it had a little knocking in the motor, but you could tell it had been redone. And the guy was trying to explain to me, he had it redone 5 years ago, but he never drove it. So I'm thinking, okay, it's just lifters. So.
Oh, it's never that simple, is it?
No, it never is.
It was a crankshaft.
But it didn't matter anyway. I was going to take that motor. It wasn't an original motor in it. And
Right.
I could already visualize an LS3 sitting in that one. So
I'm going to rebuild it and leave a knock in it. How's
Yeah.
that?
So we're gonna take about $8,000 off the price of the car because obviously I'm going to have to do some motor work to it. And there you go.
So
right.
is that
And then, of course, before I left there, my buddy goes, "Oh, did you see that 55 Bel Air that's on the other wall?"
Somebody.
So it was one of those deals where 2 for 1, So
Nice.
I got
No,
them.
I'll buy both of them, but we're going to have to make a little package deal on it. Is that how it turned out?
Right. So
Good.
the Bel Air happened to have an LS2 motor in it already.
Yeah.
Well, now that I have it, it also has twin turbos on it now.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Oh, yeah.
So who built the engines for you?
The engines on the Corvette was built at Accelerator in, I don't know if you call it Tomball or Pinehurst. Or,
Out there in your neck of the woods.
out there in my neck, right down the road from my shop, which is dangerous because I can take stuff over to them real easy.
Yep. And
with twin turbos on it real fast.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
and he says that so nonchalantly. It does run pretty good.
But I don't have them tuned to race or anything. I got them for show
And to drive.
and to drive.
Yeah.
And when we had it on the dyno over there, we got it up to 800. And I said,
was
no,
good.
let's
You can't-
tune it down.
I was just going to say you can't really put that all to the ground anyway, so you're good. Just ease into that
What
accelerator.
I've kind of discovered doing the car, I just got back and doing the car shows about a year ago.
Yeah.
And good friend of mine got me back into it. Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah.
But
Frank Talbert?
No, Frank Rodano.
I know Frank as well. With the red Chevelle.
Yes.
Yeah, the 70
Yep,
SS
so-
454.
So he come over, he helped me get everything loaded up, and he helps me spend some of my money.
Good.
Nice guy.
Frank
Nice
is a great guy.
Okay, well, yeah. Listen, we need to take a quick break,
All
but I
right.
want to talk to you about the Hudson.
Okay.
Very interesting truck. So stand by. We've got more of the In-Wheel Time Car Show after this.
Garages of Texas offers first-class luxury garage suites to keep your collection in a safe, secure location with 24-hour access. You'll love your own private space that's developed with other like-minded enthusiasts in 2 Houston area locations, in Katy and the Woodlands. Visit garagesoftexas.com to see how other enthusiasts have designed their motor vehicle man cave. But you need to act fast. These properties are almost sold out. Visit garagesoftexas.com for full details.
It's the In-Wheel Time Car Show coming to you today from San Leon, Texas. And
Leon.
Top water grill. The top water.
Spit it out.
Here.
Oh,
I don't want it. I can't read.
got all
Now
my
we're going to
stuff.
make a mess.
You know, it's funny. Everybody's telling
That's
me.
mine. That's mine in the bottom. Gee whiz.
Children, please.
So, our guest here in San Leon, Texas, is at the Top Water Grill is Robert Smith with Big Dog's Garage.
Hey, Robert.
And so we want to know about the Hudson.
All right.
And you rolled in here and was like, wait a minute. Is that a stretched hood on that Hudson? Are those fenders stock?
Well, no, nothing stock on it. It was of course, it was pro-built too, probably about 10 years ago up in the state of Washington.
The state of Washington.
Yeah, I just happened to be going. I don't know what I was looking at one evening, and I wasn't even looking for that.
Democrats. You were looking for Democrats in the
Yes,
state
yes,
of
of
Washington.
course, Democrats. And run through it, and I looked at it, and I said, oh, I've never seen anything like that before. I like that. I don't like stock things. I like unique things. Something nobody else has.
That's why you and I get along.
And
Because I am
that Hudson
definitely
is
a unique.
Not only is it stretched, it's lowered and chopped. Because that top can't be, that window top can't be, that's
no,
not
it
stock.
had had a lot of work done to it. I mean, I've got a book on it. But anyway, I talked to the guy about it, and the original owner bought it in 1946. He used
wow.
it, and he used it as a hunting truck. Well, he had the owner I bought it from, the second owner, bought it in 1976, and he put a camper on it, used it to go camping. Well, I think in the early 2000s, 2005, he said he wanted to do something different. He had a friend that had a hot rod shop. So he put it in there and spent a lot of money.
A lot of
It
money.
got carried away.
And clearly he's taken the camper top off of it.
Yes, yeah, it didn't come with it.
And the suicide doors, though, that wasn't originally suicide doors, was it? I don't know enough about the Hudson.
I think the original owner put them in because it was easier to get out of the hunt.
Oh, okay.
No, it was built when it was built to the shop.
Yeah, because that's always a cool feature, suicide doors on anything. And I know there are some cars that had them, but I didn't recall that did. It's a beautiful truck.
Well, let me ask, does that have an LS motor in it too?
No, it doesn't, but it does have a big block 468 in it
Okay.
with automatic transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really a driver, something that I would drive very far.
Right. You
Very much of a show car.
You drive it into the show and drive it out of the show
Right.
and put it in the trailer.
I like the tilt forward hood too. That's a neat
If,
feature.
if it's a local show, within, I'm going to say 10 miles, I would drive it to the show.
Right.
But
It's a little bit further down here for you.
I mean, you can tell by my red one, my red Corvette. I drive it quite a bit, and I've already noticed a few little rock chips on it already.
That's
so
okay.
I'll get it fixed.
I've got a C5 Corvette, a 2001 model that has, believe it or not, now 25,000 miles on it. And I have to tell you that it has some rock chips on the hood. I've had a lot of detailing on the paint done to it so it's nice and shiny. And it hurts me, but yet the car is a driver, and I have to continue to tell myself that. Because I, too, come from the show car thing, and I've done that, and I've had the custom paint job, and I've spent all of my money on it, and I've won the big trophies. But, There's something about being able to drive nice cars.
That's correct.
That's what you kind of go for.
Well, when I first started getting back into adding to my collection and driving, I said, I'm going to drive mine to the shows.
There you go.
With all that.
Yeah.
And I pretty much will, except for the Hudson.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You got enough that you can choose from, and that works for me. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful little collection. Is this all you have in your collection?
No. Got the 57 in the shop, the twin turbo 55.
I got a beautiful 56 Nomad in the shop right now. I was just putting a new front runner and a new polished aluminum radiator in it.
Nice.
So it'll be going to the shows here pretty quick. I've only taken it to one show.
And you blame Frank.
Yeah, and I blame Frank for that, too.
So Frank is kind of like a wife. He
where
did
is
it.
Frank?
Where is Frank here today?
Yeah, Frank is here today.
Frank, where are you?
He drives a
Look
red.
at him. He's
there
looking.
he is.
There he is.
He's waving.
Yeah, he's waving.
Frank.
Well, we'll have to talk to Frank here in our next interview. But
I have a 66 Nova that's really nice Nova. I'm going to hang on to for a little while.
Oh.
So I kind of get the feeling that you're mostly a Chevy kind of guy.
I am a Chevy kind of guy.
LS
I get
Cubs.
And I like LS, but I like big block motors. I do have a 350 motor in one of my cars. It's a 1970 Suburban 3-door.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
3/4 ton 4x4.
Oh, my gosh. How rare is that?
Very rare.
And is it carbureted?
I already put a fuel injected sniper on it.
But it looks, so it looks like a carburetor. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
He's the one that convinced me that that's the way I should do it.
I actually just put it in the shop just to do a few things, putting a different gauges in it. The ones that was put in it, they don't stay working half the time. So
Now, Robert, do you do any of this work yourself?
no, I don't.
You used to, though.
I did tinker with them years ago. I've been more into motorcycles.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I had a little accident a couple of years ago up in South Dakota, so it slowed me down a little. I still ride, but not as much.
Yeah.
South Dakota, so somewhere out there near Sturgis.
Yeah, it was on Labor Day weekend, and we were out for a ride, and me and an ATV collided.
Ouch.
Oh, Lord.
So,
Well, this guy here knows all about motorcycle
Yeah, I
wrecks.
had a pretty bad one back in '81, so haven't sat on one since.
right, well, I still get on them. I just hadn't been on one as much. But right after the accident, I actually went out and bought a German-made Riwaco trike.
Riwaco.
Yeah,
That's-
Riwaco's a German-made motorcycle.
Where do you find stuff like that?
Man, I just
The people-
I
unusual.
finally learned how to use a computer after all these years.
Well,
So-
Riwaco.
Well, good. Can you teach Mars?
Riwaco in German means trike.
Right. So
So what's the
Anyway-
powertrain on it?
I made that up.
the powertrain on the one I have now is
Say,
a,
dadgum.
I think it's a 1.7 or 1.8 Mitsubishi Turbo.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh.
But it was low because, see, I was still on a walker when I bought this thing.
Oh boy.
And matter of fact, I got a picture where me and my buddy, we went out to Reno, and I got my walker strapped to the back seat.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
God.
so it takes a lot to keep me down, you know. So, but
So what's the name of your electrical company?
Robert G. Smith Electric Inc. We mainly do new construction apartment wiring, and we are one of the larger electrical contractors that does that type of work in the Houston area.
So off the subject here, so let me ask you, how is it getting parts these days? Wiring, wire nuts, all the stuff that you use to do your job. I'm just
Are you seeing any issues with supply constraints?
A lot of issues. Of course, copper wire jumped
Sky
way
high,
up. So, but right now the big issue, besides everybody raising their prices on everything, is PVC and PVC products.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, two of your major people that has something to do with PVC or the resin or the oil that goes with it was in, of course, Louisiana where the hurricane hit.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, right now we couldn't even find any plastic boxes for light boxes a week
wow.
ago.
Wow.
We had to switch over to metal.
Well,
which
how
costs,
important are those? Do you really need those? I mean, how important are they?
What's that?
The
The
boxes.
little electrical
They're
boxes.
very
I
important.
mean, they're
boxes.
hidden. Nobody can see them.
Yeah.
They only stop the fires, Jeff.
Right. So it has caused a lot of problems.
Well, Robert, great collection of cars that he's brought here today.
Beautiful collection.
At
Thank you.
Woody's 3rd annual Waterfront Car Show.
While Frank and your crew are over there setting up signs.
Right.
And we'll talk to Frank
It's
here in a
nice to
little
have
bit.
a crew.
Yes.
I couldn't do this by myself.
Wish I had a crew.
You know, thank goodness for good friends like Frank and of course
Well,
I
who's
have,
the other guy? Because
and I
there's
have
another guy
Sonny.
working on it.
well, that's my son-in-law.
Oh, so you married into this.
Oh yeah. So,
You can't get away from it.
Grab that towel and wipe
and
that
then
car.
the other gentleman with me today is a longtime friend of mine for about 25 years. So he come down to help me.
Well,
today.
cool.
Very nice.
He's from up in Broadus, Texas, so he come all the way down to
A little
help me
bit
trailer
further.
one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Sure
you
is.
so much for stopping by. Robert Smith, Big Dog's Garage.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Robert.
And as soon as we are you ready now? You ready?
We're waiting on
checking.
you.
All right. So this is the In Wheel Time Car Show. We've got more right after a quick break.
Winning the highest sales satisfaction award among all luxury brands from J.D. Power in 2020 tells you everything you need to know about your Lincoln purchase from Bayway. Bayway Lincoln is where a premium buying experience is a priority, and you're invited to feel it yourself. This Houstonian-owned premier dealership is managed by Lincoln Stahl, a seasoned member of the Bayway family. If it's online, in person, or in your own driveway, Bayway gets you to the luxury level you deserve. Bayway Lincoln is on the Gulf Freeway at Fuquay, just inside Beltway 8. Visit BaywayLincoln.com today. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the 3rd annual Woody's Waterfront Car Show down here in San Leon, Texas. Woo-hoo. In addition to our guest or two from today's car show, we'll have the Car Clinic, have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong, so glad that you could join us today. Jeff's going to have his pre-owned car of the week, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, coming up here in just a minute. Right now, our guest in the remote studio is Mr. Rick Hawkins, owner of a nice, clean, sweet 67 Camaro. It's good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we interviewed you, what, a couple of years ago?
No,
this is
Bayway,
this past
just a
year.
couple of months ago.
Oh, Bayway. That's where it was. Well,
First
you know.
inaugural Bayway Chevrolet.
Yep. So it's good to see you again. So what are you hoping to get out of today's show with the 67 Camaro? Big fat trophy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
Do you attend a lot of these shows?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you like cruise-ins? You like one-day car shows? You going to take it to Autorama?
I'm going to Autorama. Yeah. I don't make too many of the cruise-ins because it's rough on the motor. You know, it's really a quarter-mile motor, and to go out cruising with it, it's really not designed to do it. You know?
Right.
So
Why is that?
It's really a trailer queen.
Why is that?
Probably geared up a little bit.
What is it like,
one of the
20,
first-
20 to 1 compression ratio in it?
Oh
and-
no, it's really low on compression ratio because of the blower.
Blow. Okay. Yeah, well, I can imagine what the blower puts in it.
Exactly.
Stress.
And what it does is it winds up being, instead of miles per gallon, it's gallons per mile.
Gas stations.
Right.
per
So
mile,
and the
yep.
price of gas going like it is, yeah, it's expensive to run it. So.
Yeah. So did you trailer it here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I live in Conroe, so
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you did.
it's a good ways.
Yeah. So if it's a quarter-mile car, so at 50 miles an hour, what's the RPM?
About 3,000.
For
she's
488s?
411.
411?
411 rear end. Come on. Come on, it's a
I was-
411.
Well, I'm doing 3,200 at 70 miles an hour with 343s. So,
In his old mobile.
Oldsmobile.
Oh, you got it
Oldsmobile.
running?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it runs. It just doesn't start.
It runs, but it doesn't start, so it doesn't run.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
gotta
The
figure that
crank
one out.
fell off,
Oh.
kind of.
It's the loose.
Anyhow.
It's the loosen up.
So-
Loosen up behind the wheel.
So for those that didn't hear you before, we're going to ask you probably some of the same questions.
Sure.
So when did you acquire this? How did you
I've
acquire
had
it?
the car more than 20 years.
Oh, you have?
wow.
Yeah, I was working overseas, and my wife found it and emailed me, should she get it? And it was like $2,000. I said, of course.
I see. So you've done all the work to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So has it gone through many iterations of what it looks
Yeah,
like?
as we discussed before, it was aspirated when I first built it, and then I told
couldn't
my
stand it?
grandson, we knew we weren't going to be happy till we had a blower sticking out of the hood, you know. So
We weren't going to be happy.
So
me and my grandson,
okay.
we were kind of. Now he's chasing women, so he's giving up on cars.
well, that'll,
And has left you
that'll
with
pass.
the results.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which is okay, you know. So he learned.
Wait till he
something along
catches one, then he'll come
Yeah,
back to
then
the
he'll
car.
be back to the
Right,
car.
yeah.
So let me ask you. You said your wife acquired it while you were out of the country.
Yeah.
Is it still in her name?
No, it's in mine.
Oh, just checking. Just checking.
No, it really is in her name.
Yeah.
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 It may be his name may be on the paper, but
That is her car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
I know
Oh,
how that works.
What a nice lady to pick up a cool car for
Yeah.
you.
Really.
Yeah.
So have you done everything to it? Does it still have the same frame underneath it?
Yeah, it's still got the same frame. Obviously, we put the subframe
Sub-connectors
connectors in
in
there
Yep.
to stiffen it up
Right.
some. It's got a 9-inch Ford four-link suspension
Nice.
in the rear.
Yep.
Tubular coilovers on the front.
So
all
it
the
is-
modern stuff.
It
disc
is
brake
track
all-around.
ready then.
It's track ready, yeah. Except for we don't have roll cage,
Right.
drive shaft loop, things like that. So it's considered dangerous to the.
Have you ever had it on a quarter-mile track?
No.
Never have.
Not yet.
Well, they wouldn't let them because
This year was the first year that we've been out showing it, and I've used the analogy that next year I'll probably beat it like a cheating wife because the car show thing will have run its course. You know, that once people see the same car over and over, it
Right.
becomes monotonous, and so I'll probably be beating up on it a little bit more next year.
Beat it like a cheating wife. I've never heard of
So you're
That's
going to
good.
cage it and loop it and then
Oh,
take it to the track?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we got a 55 Chevy that's on the rotisserie right now, and we're building it for a street track, and it's going 850 horsepower at least minimum.
What,
So
big block or LS?
no, it's a small block, blown. Yeah. So we're going to overdrive the blower to where, like this one would be, I could do 850 horsepower out of it.
That's stressing a small block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's
And
putting a
your-
lot
and
of
your point
pressure.
is?
That's putting a lot of pressure
make
on a
more.
small block.
Do you have a
worry about
problem
it.
with that?
No, not at all.
We'll
but
make
it's,
more. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's the point. Break it, fix it.
Yeah.
find the weak
Repeat.
point.
Exactly.
Find the weak point.
So we built the back end for Bear. We're running 35 spline axles, 1.5 inch, with 457 gears.
Okay.
So
Is that a Dana?
no, it's 9-inch Ford.
Ford.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately, we're losing our Baytown
Yes, we are. We have
track
one
next
more
year.
race
One
to
more
go.
show to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
So
God
now
bless it.
we're going to have just 8th Mile is the only thing that's Houston Motorsports
Park, yes.
Park, yeah.
Mhm, right. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
And then what's the one
No,
over in Orange?
No,
Well, yeah, over in East Texas,
it's just the
they
distance
still
you
got
have to
one.
go now in
Yeah.
order to be able to drag race. But if you're geared for a quarter mile, you're going to have to make some adjustments
Yeah,
to do 8th Mile.
Yeah.
411's up to 48, 56s or 88s.
Right.
Something.
Does the motor in your car, that motor, it's an LS motor in it?
No.
What?
No, he says it's a.
It's a stock 350.
Oh, okay.
Started life as.
All right. Does it have a
With a
4-bolt main?
400 crank, yes, 4
Oh,
bolt
yeah.
main.
4-bolt main. Okay.
Yeah, we
Well, I
went
mean,
to,
they make 2-bolt mains.
Yep.
Yeah. I just wanted to make
but
sure.
now you may put 800 horsepower in it once.
Once, yeah. Right. And then the bottom of the motor falls out.
Well, that 55 has got a 2-bolt main 350 in it right now, and we're going to play with that. We're going to go ahead and throw the juice on it until we melt it down. Then we're going to put in the
Don't forget it's
the
your wife's
mountain
car.
motor.
It's your wife's car. So.
Well, she's going to have to pitch in on fixing it. That's all I can say.
Exactly. Well, that's pretty spectacular. I love your way of thinking. So what are you going to do to the 67 Camaro next year to change it up?
I don't know for sure. I mean, obviously, if we want to run the track, we're probably going to have to put we can get away the first time that you run because once you show
You
your
don't
real
know.
time.
So you go
they're-
10.5, and then
right,
you're,
then
then
they're
you're
going to
toast.
say you can't come back till you have roll cage.
and you can't go 10.5.1 at 65 miles an hour.
Unless you put the brakes on it. Who wants to do
No,
that?
because then they're going to know you're
No,
super
it's
quick.
just the modifications necessary, cutting the floor and all that stuff to be able to put in a roll cage. I didn't want to go through that at this point.
Well, plus if you're actually going to track it, you're going to strip the weight
Right.
out of it as well. So
Yeah.
it's really going to change the car.
And we've
up.
been real successful this year. We've done, I think, 12 shows, and we've got 10 trophies.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah.
Very
Well,
good,
you know,
yeah.
don't
Do
you?
you do some of Kerry's shows?
Yeah, I do all of
showplace,
his. Right. In fact, I have a slim chance. I think I haven't done the math of doing grand champion this year.
Okay, well, congratulations.
So,
yeah, I know he puts on a whole.
Well, he
bunch
hasn't
of
won
them.
it yet.
I know, but
No. Well,
Congratulations,
last,
but if he's
anyway.
done the math, he's
last
smarter than we
weekend
are
at
because
the
we can't
Woodlands
do
Harley event that he had, I had 4 entries, and I took 4 trophies.
You know we are judges and we can be bought.
Chief,
I wish I'd have brought more money.
math. No, it's just bloody
Call your
berries.
wife.
No, it's
Call your wife.
no. I promise you, I want my car to win on its own merit.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it can't,
Sure.
then it doesn't deserve it.
And it will.
So, and that's the satisfaction that you get that someone else
Absolutely.
thought I did the right thing.
Yep.
But taking advantage of the technology, laser and stuff like that, it was really fun to have an inspiration and then see it come to life, the final product.
Now, did you buy a new blower to put on there, a new one?
Yeah, it's a Wind
It is?
671. You can
Okay.
buy it on any
Right.
Jegs, Summit,
Yes.
anywhere.
Nice.
And then who does the tuning?
Alan Bills is my engine builder.
I know that name. Where's he at?
He's right there around the Greenspoint, west of the Greenspoint area. He's off of Frick Road. He's a big drag racer
Okay,
for
that's
years,
probably where I know the
and
name
he's really sharp on carburetors and engine building in general. So, and I found out the hard well, not the hard way. Fortunately, I went to him because my conception of building a blower motor was a lot different than the truth.
Then the way it should be.
Right.
built.
Exactly.
And what was that?
Well, the compression ratio. You know, when you go to the speed shop and you say you want to put a blower on it, all you just unbolt the intake and put it on.
Nah.
No,
Not to do
I,
it
I was
right.
running 10.5 or 11 to 1 compression ratio, and he said you'll knock the bottom out of that
Yes.
thing if you try to do
Well,
that.
yeah. Well, no, you could put a blower on it, but you could only put 2 or 3 pounds of boost in
Exactly.
it. And
It would-
why spend the money on a blower?
Yeah, you have to
for
put a
3 pounds of boost, right?
177 or something smaller
Yeah, so
to get a little bit of
So what's
boost.
that? 8.5, 9 to 1,
8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, that's where
And
we
so
were.
what do you said you run?
We're
11?
7 pounds of boost.
7 pounds of
7
boost.
pounds, yeah.
That's still an awful lot in
Well, that's-
total.
Well, that's where 800 horsepower comes
Yes, you
from.
dynoed 650, and on race fuel we could do 850 if we overdrive the blower. So.
Well, I thought about, we had talked about putting a blower on my Corvette, and what I found out, yes, they make them with just a little bit of boost that you can get on it on the 2001 LS1 motor, and
But the cost for power when you don't do
it
the
didn't
piston-
make any sense
Right.
because one of the things that I also found out is that I'd have to change the valve springs, and I don't want to do all of that, and I don't want to spend $8,000 on a damn blower, and no. I'm not going to do that. It's perfectly fine the way it is. 400 horsepower is plenty for me for the street on an everyday driver.
And you can drive it to Biloxi, Mississippi, or
Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Right.
Right.
In his
I
case,
buck 3.
in his case, I'd be getting a text. Hey, we got a project to do in your garage.
That's right. Well, we put a Hearst shifter in it a couple of weeks ago, and that turned into an all-day affair.
It was good. 3.5 hours. It was.
Did you finish?
Oh,
We
yeah.
did. Oh, yeah.
And it's drivable?
It is drivable, believe
I'm
it or not.
impressed.
I even took a road test in it.
Don't be impressed because it ain't impressive. I mean, a few bolts with that thing, with the transaxle in it. It's not like linkage back in our day. It's not like that. Yeah.
It was fun.
I would like to say it is, but it ain't. Yeah, it was easy to do.
Easy
But,
bolt-on installation.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. So, so the '67 Camaro. You think that you'll ever put it on the street? You ever detune it to the point where you'll be able to drive it? Put a different rear end gear ratio in it?
I don't see that happening.
I got
really. I
It's
mean,
a
at
toy.
this point, yeah.
It's purely a toy.
Yeah.
And it's a toy you kindly bring out and share with people, because I'm sure anywhere you park that, it draws a crowd.
Well, I built it for my own satisfaction, and then the first time I took it out and I saw the kind of reception it got, I got
a
amazed.
star.
I was amazed that it got that kind of
Right.
reaction. So obviously I've been taking advantage of that and showing it more.
Or something about
And
a big
it's-
blower sticking out of the hood draws
Yeah,
attention.
that's
It's like,
it's
hey, look at me, look
you
at
know,
me.
The movie Fast and Furious probably did more for blower sales than anything ever has.
And you stand
all
back-
the kids flock to it right away.
You
Oh,
stand back
Fast
and say, "Look what
Furious."
I did." You know.
That too, yeah. It's,
And I love your shirt.
thanks.
What does
It's,
it mean?
I see we have the GM firing order.
That's if I ever forget, all I have to do is look in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right.
But then it'll be
I thought it was
backwards,
your
so I'll
phone
have it
number.
wrong.
I thought it was your phone number. Somewhere somebody has that phone number.
It's his social security
What a
number.
great idea. Yeah.
Password
we
for my
can make
bank
a song
account.
out
right?
of it.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, Rick Hawkins, it's great to talk to you. Great to see you
It's
again.
great to see
Thanks
you
so
guys
much. We
again.
really appreciate
Yeah.
the conversation, and we'll hope to see you again. We'll see you at Autorama.
Yes, I intend to be there this year.
All right. Well, we do too, since it'll be the first one in a couple of years.
Right, yeah.
We're all looking forward to
Absolutely.
it.
Cool.
Thanks
you guys
again,
have
my
a great
friends.
day.
You do the
Thanks a
same.
lot.
Rick Hawkins. All right. We're going to move on now, and we are going to talk about Jeff's pre-owned car of the week. It's
There
a
it
nice,
We need more Jeff.
Yes. It's a 2018 Lincoln Continental.
Sedan.
I have also been known as the Continental.
Have you?
I have.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were the incontinent mental.
Oh. All right, let's move on to this.
I'm getting there.
Conrad's back, in case you haven't noticed. Conrad is back. 2018 Lincoln Continental. There are several trim levels of this vehicle. There's a premium, a select, a reserve, a black label. And each one of these you can get either an all-wheel drive or a front-wheel drive in this vehicle. It is a luxury sedan. It is a 5-passenger, although you probably could squeeze 6 in there if you wanted to, but 5 is it. Exterior, you've got some chrome packages, and these are all very, very nice things that are all stock and standard for it. You've got large shape, recognizable grille. You've got the stylish badging on the side, and on the back you got the Lincoln letters individually. You got the dual chrome tip exhaust, and then it's just a nice shaped vehicle. It's a nice, not gaudy, not over to the top type dressings on the outside. And on the inside, you've got quite a bit. Now, this Continental is loaded. In any of the Select, Reserve, or Black Label, you can get them loaded up. You've got the Continental Technology package. You've got climate control package. You've got an interior filtration system, which recycles the air for you. You can put special filters in there, the HEPA filters, which will work. Leather interior. You've got a leather-wrapped steering wheel, satellite radio, 8-inch touch screen. It's awesome. 360-degree camera. You've got the head-up display, and you've got a universal remote transmitter. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah, that's your key fob.
Well, it's up on the dash
Garage
for the
doors.
garage
It'll
door.
do
Yeah,
the gate to your gated
yeah,
community.
yeah.
You can
Mine's
turn the
broken,
lights
by
So
the
when
on
way.
in
somebody
the house.
steals your car, they can just right into your garage in your house and
Sure,
just
why not?
go for it.
Just push the button if you know which one. You got to know which one.
Well, we're good at pushing buttons
I know.
here. That's for sure.
You should have seen us an hour ago. It's a 2.7-liter V6 turbo dual overhead cam, 335 horsepower at 5,700 RPM.
So it's an EcoBoost.
It can be, yes, sure. Depending on your foot, but yes, it is. 380 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500.
That's significant.
Yes, it is. It's a big car, but it also moves. It giddy-ups. 6-speed, and Mike would say it hauls the donkey. 6-speed shiftable transmission. You've got in the city 18, Highway 27.
Only Mike would say that.
He would. He said it a lot last week.
I know he did.
And combined is around 21. You could probably squeeze a little bit more out of that with a 19-gallon fuel tank. You got, ride and handling. You get the typical luxury smooth ride, soft ride. It is a Lincoln.
It's what you expect from a Lincoln.
This Lincoln rides like a Cadillac. It's awesome. Very smooth. You got 18 and 19-inch polished wheels, and this vehicle you can get for around 40 grand-ish, depending on mileage and condition. 52. I've seen them 52 out there in certain places. Basic 4-year warranty is 50,000 miles. You've got drivetrain at 6-year at 70,000. Corrosion's 5-year, unlimited mileage, which I thought was impressive. Maintenance 4-year, 50,000, and then roadside assistance is unlimited. That's incredible. I like that. So that is the 2018 Lincoln Continental.
All right, be the Continental. Hey,
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. And by the way, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and inwheeltime.com. And podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Show also is newly on Twitter.
Twitter.
Yes.
So we're twits.
Well, we're twits. So how did that happen?
They just, Twitter bought Periscope a couple of years ago. Well, apparently Periscope finally died a long, lingering death.
Oh,
so they
no.
moved everything over onto Twitter. So now Twitter will let you stream, live stream now, since they don't
Okay.
have Periscope to kick it to.
So if you're a twit, you can catch us on the Twitter.
You can see our tweet.
Do you
Or
tweet?
twit.
Do you tweet?
Nope, I don't.
No one's seeing my tweet. I am not showing my tweet in public.
Again,
Yeah.
the court said he's
This time.
too much trouble.
He still has a restraining order.
God. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. We haven't had Conrad's Car Clinic in a while.
Conrad's
what
back.
what is the what kind of car clinic subject are we dealing with
As
today?
we're coming towards the end of car show season,
And it's the beginning.
well,
Yeah, fall brings them
you
out.
know, you got to think a lot of people are getting ready to put their cars away for the winter. You know, it's September, October.
This is not New York. This is Houston, Texas.
All right,
and the
then I have
car
a-
shows.
then
the
I have
car,
a-
the
then I
car
have a
shows.
different one.
No, you can do that. The car show season, sir, ends in Houston, Texas, after Autorama.
Oh, okay. Well, Autorama is just around the corner, so
But everybody and his mother is doing cruise-ins and car shows like this.
and that's what we're going to talk about is preparing your car to put it away, not putting it away yet, but in
Oh,
preparing
you didn't
your
say
car.
that.
Preparing your car to put away for the winter. You know, the first part we're going to do this in a number of parts, but
He's put
today
away
we're
his
going to
car.
talk about the fuel system. So when you talk about the fuel system, in most cars on the show circuit are gasoline powered, so we're going to talk about gas powered. Since we have multiple car shows that are left, and you're going to be driving your car for a little bit, it's time to prepare your car for storage. And let's talk about fuel tanks and fuel systems to store your car. Now's the time to add a high-quality fuel dryer to your fuel. You want to put a fuel dryer in that's going to entrain the water in your gas tank, because you always get a little bit of water in your gas tank. Just the humidity in the air is going to put a little water in the tank, and that water in the tank and the ethanol mixing together creates some corrosion inside your tank. Inside your tank and your fuel pump, if you're carbureted, the metallized lines can corrode on the inside as well. So you want to make sure you're doing something about the water in there. So using a high-quality fuel dryer will allow the water just to be drawn out as you drive the car. So using a fuel dryer now and driving it to the next 3 or 4 meets and refilling the fuel tank is going to accomplish that for you to get the water out of the tank. The other thing you want to do is you want to use a good fuel stabilizer that's going to go in the tank. That's going to keep your fuel from gumming up over the season, over the storage period, and you want to get that circulating through the tank. So again, adding a stabilizer and adding a fuel dryer now and then driving it to the next 3 or 4 meets will get all of that in circulation in the gas tank, and then refilling your car. My preference would be to refill your car with non-ethanol fuel. The struggle with that is it's very few places that you can get that.
I was going to say,
Where do you get it? Outside of Houston?
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's
Buc-ee's
has it?
outside of Harris County.
Yeah.
So Buc-ee's in Katy, Buc-ee's in Waller. I don't think Buc-ee's in Baytown offers non-ethanol fuel.
Well, we passed the Buc-ee's getting down here.
But
that
if it's
one's
in Harris County,
okay.
it can't be non-ethanol fuel.
And
That's
the reason
right.
is
it's
Same
Harris
reason
County
it's-
is EPA abatement district.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So every fuel sold in Harris County has to have a renewable minimum 10% ethanol rating.
Gotcha.
Same reason you can't do but 65 in the speed limit in Harris County.
What?
But you
Well, who
cross
says
into
you can't?
Jefferson. I'm saying the speed limit.
Oh.
Cross into Jefferson County, it's 75.
So again, I'm a believer in a full tank at storage, not an empty tank, because that empty tank, the humidity that
Moisture,
builds up
yeah.
inside there grows the moisture inside the tank. So using a real high quality fuel stabilizer on a full tank of fuel and then putting your vehicle away for the summer, you can drain the tank and then refill it in the spring. I think that's too much work. If you're using a non-ethanol,
my God, I can't even imagine that. Drain the tank. So you'd have to pump the gas out of the tank.
and you're never going to get all of it out.
No.
Yeah. So filling it with a non-ethanol fuel, you don't have to worry about the phase separation that happens in ethanol fuel and the corrosion that happens from ethanol fuel. So again, filling the tank with ethanol-free fuel, I think, is the best choice, and store your vehicle with a completely full tank of fuel so you don't have that air pocket that introduces the humidity and the condensation every morning like you get on your windshield.
So
the same
what
thing happens
what
inside the
kind
gas
of
tank.
fuel stabilizer do you?
Well, I work for BG Products.
Well, I know that, but I can't go to AutoZone and buy that.
There's a couple of Napas around that sell BG.
They do?
Yep. Not many of them, but a couple of Napas.
And what do
Any
you
of the BG shops will
And what's
sell
their
it.
fuel stabilizer called?
Ours is called BG's Fuel Dryer, and the part number for it is 281. And the fuel.
I swear to God, I didn't set this up.
No, I was supposed to do this last weekend, but he wasn't here. We didn't get to it, so I gave it to him today.
And the fuel dryer is called BG's Ethanol Defender,
Yep.
and the part number for that is 213.
Yep.
And running a bottle of the fuel dryer through will extract all the water out of your fuel system in a couple of tanks, and then the stabilizer just to make sure it gets stirred in, because you
Can you
don't
do
want
it
to
at
just
the same time?
Oh yeah. You can do the two of them at the same time, but you don't want to put the stabilizer in the tank and then store it. You want to put the stabilizer in the tank and drive it some so
circulate
it
it.
circulates through the inside of the system, gets
Right.
inside. If you're fuel injected, gets inside the lines for the fuel injection system, and then go top it off, and then you should be good
Is
to
there
go.
a difference in performance when you put it in? You say to drive it. I mean, is it bogged down? Is it you can't tell?
No, you won't notice a difference. I know our fuel stabilizer also has some deposit cleaning agents in it, so it'll do some cleaning the fuel.
Well, after the
injectors.
show, we're gonna go get stabilized at the bar.
We're gonna go get. Well, we're gonna add alcohol.
There you go.
And that'll help us a lot too.
It'll help stabilize things.
Yeah, well, it'll preserve.
I hear they
things.
have very good smoked oysters here, and that was
There
one
you
thing I
go.
wanted to try.
Well,
I don't
go
know
for
how
that.
I don't know how you keep them lit. You think it'd get the paper?
Oh.
You think it'd get the paper soggy? But we'll try them anyhow.
Well, David was talking about go get some crabs.
Well,
Yeah, well, I
and
think he
he's the
needs
guy that would get the crabs
Yeah,
too.
he
And
would.
that's
And that's
time now for
and that's
this
where the
hour's.
rubbing alcohol helps.
It's time now for this hour's stories making headlines. Ford Motor Company recalling 38,714.1 Mustang Mach-E crossovers in North America and
that's
Europe
all of them.
for improperly bonded windshields and sunroofs that could fall off. Oops, they use that word, fall off. All of the vehicles have a faulty windshield, while 27,318 of them also have a faulty sunroof. The affected Mach-E's were built between February 24th and June 18th, so keep
That's
that
going to
in
be
mind.
expensive to fix.
Hyundai Motor Company recalling more than 130,000 vehicles in the U.S. and Canada for an engine defect that can increase the risk of a fire. Now, let me ask you something. An engine that can cause a fire. Here it is.
Oil
Recall effects, nope. approximately 95,515 vehicles here in the U.S. The connecting rod bearings in those engines may wear prematurely, which over time can result in engine damage and eventually
Catastrophic engine damage.
and eventually stall the vehicle during operation if there isn't a thermal event.
Yeah. That's the rod sticking out the side of the block, getting on the exhaust manifold, and burning your car to the ground.
Or just a hole.
As of September 17th, Hyundai said it was aware of 45 fires in the U.S. related to the issue. Dealers and vehicle owners will be receiving a recall notification starting November 12th.
What are you going to do? You going to replace the bearings?
No, well,
They
no,
probably
the
had
whole
to probably
motor.
Put a motor in.
And
it.
Put the motor in it.
It had to have happened while it was moving in motion. It couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I think that if I had one of those, I think that I would drive that thing every single day.
Hard and fast.
That's it.
And let it puke a motor and get a new motor. I wonder.
No, it wouldn't just puke it; it would burn it to the
Well,
ground.
that's
a burn down on the side of the road. They have
It
those.
would be
you
a
know.
barbecue.
And then Don would be flying overhead saying,
Look
at this
barbecue.
Look at this goober causing this traffic
And
jam.
I told you so.
That's bad.
Other
news.
recalls, a whole list of Volvos from the 21 to 22 model years, seatbelt locking retractor malfunction at malfunction junction. Also, the pressure input rod on the brake booster may be loose on the Volkswagen Arteon for 21 model year. Porsche, what did you say?
Arteon. I was trying to think of what that is.
Porsche 911 Carrera and the Taycan for 20 and 2021. Pressure input rod on the brake booster may be loose. I guess is the same supplier. Incorrect spare tire installed on the Ram 1500 for the 2021 model year. It's being recalled. Could you put a different spare tire on there? The Ram ProMaster in ProMaster City for 2021. Seatbelt locking retractor malfunction. GMC Acadia for 22. Sensing diagnostic module
For
not
22, they're not even out yet.
They're bringing it back.
Sensing diagnostic module not activated. Automatic locking retractor malfunction on the Maserati Ghibli.
No.
Giblet.
Giblet.
The Levante and the Quattroporte. All the Maseratis
That's all of
there.
them.
Jet pump in the fuel tank may fail on the Mercedes-Benz S580 for 21. And the secondary hood latch may detach on the Nissan Pathfinder for 2022.
Is that an intake
That
pump?
is your recalls for this week. Well,
pump's
that's
gotta
it for this hour of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Hour number 2 starts right after this quick break.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your new or classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The in-wheel time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the 3rd Annual Woody's Waterfront Car Show down here in San Leon, Texas.
Leon speaks.
We'll talk to a few of the participants in today's judged car show about their rides. Mr. Mars gives us some insight into Smokey Yunick's 67 Chevelle. Plus, we'll have today's news headlines. All that just ahead on today's live In-Wheel Time Car Show from the Top Water Grille in San Leon, Texas.
Perfect.
We're okay. We're going to stop correcting you on that.
No, I'm not correct.
Because everybody says it's San Leon. It's not spelled that way.
Leon.
We're down here on the coast, put it that way.
Well, we are. We're actually on the bay.
On the
and
bay.
There's the Texas City Dike. She's right over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Just wanted to
She was
bring
a
that
welder
up.
at Brown and Root, wasn't she?
What?
She was a welder at Brown and Root.
Need to
Yeah.
move that microphone a little bit closer there.
Sorry.
No, because
I was popping earlier, and I didn't want to.
right now you're
anybody-
just buzzing.
Now I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
Buzzing and popping.
We have some of the finest equipment known to man here. And
Somewhere.
So,
It's
yeah,
all back at the studio.
that's right. It's not here.
I like these chairs. These
Do
are
you?
nice.
I know. I was reclining in it
I know,
earlier.
it's easy to do.
So, Bernie, Roeder, is it?
Correct,
How do you spell your last name?
R-O-E-D-E-R.
Okay. all
Just
right.
like it sounds.
Roeder.
Well,
Yeah,
I know,
not
but
Rotor.
yeah, the
R-O-E-D-E-R.
It's German.
yeah. So I put a T over here, R-O-T-O-R, but it works for me. So I guess that's really all that matters, right?
That's
Well,
close
Bernie,
enough.
it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today. You pulled in an interesting car. Tell us about that.
It's a 1969, well, like you said, VW. It's one of the original, what you call a Brubaker box. Curtis Brubaker is the original designer and builder of these cars, and he built probably about 3 of these, which 2 was he used for demos, and he was trying to market these through the Volkswagen dealership to sell them as new cars and on new Volkswagen chassis. But he had one more car he built, and he kind of modified that for a TV set called the Arc. And so he had this thing in the show, but like I said, the deal with the money he invested in these 2 cars, the deal with Volkswagen fell through, so he goes bankrupt. And when he went bankrupt, one of his he was also owner of the what you call Brubaker Industries, and one of his board members is a guy named Mike Hansen. Bought the molds and the rights and the patents and everything to make these cars again, and under the name of Automega Industries. So when I got involved with this is in probably 1972 or actually 73. I just got out of the military, and I saw the picture of this car on Car and Driver magazine. I said, "Wow, that's a car I need to get. This has got to be the baddest 70s van out there, because nobody's got one." So
I've never seen one.
You won't. There was like 28 during the time frame Automega owned it. They built probably about 28 of these cars from up to about 1978 before Automega went bankrupt. So as of today, we know that there's only 28 cars were sold, and there's probably in existence only 20 of these cars.
I would have thought 12.
Yeah, well, they somehow they come up with 12. I mean, not 12, but 20.
Yep.
I'm the only one in that 20 that's original owner of one.
Oh,
Okay?
wow.
So I bought this thing from day one in 1974, so I've had it all these years.
Yeah,
So
well, you've done a lot of work to it, though, since then.
3 restorations, yeah. This was the 3rd time around on this one, so yeah.
It is so cool and so unique and so different. I mean, it smacks of a late 60s television show.
Yeah.
With surfboards and, everything.
The surfer car.
Well, that's what it was designed for.
Is that what it-
Yeah, that's what Curtis Brubaker had in mind, because he was hanging out in California out there, and he noticed a lot of especially like you see a wooden bumper on the front of the thing. People
That's
ask,
made from wood.
That's exactly right.
Well,
And the reason why he did that is because he wanted to appeal to all the surfers. So they would just stick their boards back here and head down to the beach.
Well, plus back then there was no bumper regulations, so
Right.
making it out of wood was
Right.
simple. It was
And
gas.
there was a TV show of a large dealer in California they found one and rebuilt it about a year ago or so.
Yeah, that was what's his name?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Galpin.
Galvin.
Galpin.
Yeah.
Galpin.
And that was Jeff Dunham's car.
Jeff Dunham. I was just
Yeah.
about to say because he owns that car now.
Right. Yeah. That thing had a Corvair motor in there.
Yep.
And if you look at the restoration, and I've seen pictures of this a long time ago, this thing is kind of like was red and tan, and when they were doing this show, I was talking with Curtis Brubaker about this, and he was just like blown away. It's like, who would do that to that car?
Is Brubaker still alive?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He is.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. He's still doing. He's still working.
He helped locate a few of them.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, he helped those guys. I mean, there's another company in California called Driven Company, and you know, I was telling you, there's 2 cars he made, 2 prototypes. One of these cars they found out in a swamp in Florida.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be the #1 car he
Oh,
built.
wow.
Because if anybody would know what that car is about, he spent a lot of time and money building that car. So he knew every inch of this thing. And so when he saw the car, immediately he says, "Hello,
He knew
my old
which one
friend."
it was.
Yeah, he knew it was that. So these guys have got that, and so they're going to try to restore that, put it back to. I'm hoping they do that, but anyway. But like I said, it's those guys, Car Kings, they were called.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting, but I just don't. For the money he put in a Corvair motor, I would.
But
For
nevertheless,
Volkswagen.
that show that they had was very interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it captured my attention, and, I watched it.
The Brubaker box has also been on Jay Leno.
Yes.
Because I remember seeing it on
Probably.
Jay Leno's garage one
Yep.
time.
Probably.
And it may have been Dunham's car because Leno and Dunham are big
Yeah,
buds
I
anyhow. It
think
may have
so.
been Dunham's
Depending
car.
on what
you're
color
right.
what color it was, you know.
It was yours.
Yeah, it was
It was
a
a brown
burgundy,
one?
burgundy
Oh,
color,
yeah.
brown
Okay.
burgundy color, you know,
It could-
kind of a dark.
because that's the one that Jeff Dunham had. It was kind of red, and like it's right now, it's brown with a black vinyl top. That thing was tan with a red vinyl top.
Well, but
you shake your head no.
but for people, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
they've heard you mention minivan. This is not a minivan. This
Yeah.
is
surfer
it's very
van.
low.
Yeah.
Very to me kind of wide for what it is. So it really is a super custom George Barris looking type of a vehicle, and a very unusual. How many of them are in? Yours is probably the only one in Texas.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, there's like I said, there's 20 of them existing, and it's probably that we know of. That probably only about 5 of them. Some people actually drive around, but this isn't not just in the United States. This is in the world because there's not a whole lot of
And
those.
do you know where all those 20 are? Do you guys all communicate
There's-
somehow?
Yeah, there's a Facebook page called Brubaker Box Fan. The girl who started this page, actually, that was her dad that owned the company Automega. So he passed away a couple years ago. Mike Hansen did. So anyway, she runs this page, and then it's kind of like a lot of the owners and a lot of input goes into this thing. So you can see a lot of history in there. Even,
Interesting.
You know,
So Brubaker, wasn't he in aerospace?
yeah.
He was an aerospace engineer,
Right, yeah.
and got a wild hair and said, "I'm going to build a cool
Yeah.
surfer dude van."
Concept.
You know, I keep going back to the Myers Manx because it's built on the Volkswagen chassis.
Right.
And I'm wondering if there was some sort of an inspiration or something with that kind of triggered this van, the box.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I can think of because, Mr. Meyer himself designed that car to go on the Volkswagen chassis.
Exactly.
And that's all I can think with this because it was so universal and so easy to do.
Right.
Okay, let's put a body on it.
Right.
And so does it have a Volkswagen drivetrain in it?
Correct. Yeah.
All of it.
It's a 69. And the only thing it's modified is the pedal assembly for your clutch. And that's moved up and forward about 8 inches. And then that's all because, the seats go forward about that same amount because what they've done, instead on a Volkswagen, the gas tank being in front, it's in the middle of the car. And that probably this is the only show car you see out here is going to have an ottoman for a back seat back here. And it's underneath that ottoman. It's the gas tank.
It's
If you-
got kind of like a curved couch in it,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, no disco ball, none of that stuff.
yeah.
That went out with the 70s.
And then
Shag carpet.
the dash, the dash, if I remember correct, I'll call it hollow.
Yeah.
Because that was where your storage was
Yeah.
kind of under the dash. If you had stuff to carry with it, you'd kind of push it up under the dash.
I think I might be saying this wrong, but he called it his window trunk.
Window trunk. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he called it. But anyway, it's just that it's.
If you've not taken a close-up look at this, you got to go take
I
a
will.
close-up. It is.
I want to go sit in it.
A totally cool vehicle, and like I said, I've seen it in Nifty 50s a number of times,
Yeah.
and every time it's there, I go stare at it because it's just such a cool-looking vehicle.
And it's the same results. I mean, like I said, I've had this thing for 46 years. So the day one I built this thing and used to cruise around it and the car Autorama show in the 80s, man, the response has never changed on this thing. It never changes. And even today, I don't care how young you are or how old you are, people are like, wow, what is that?
But you know, it also resonates with our age group.
Yeah.
You realize that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, tremendously.
Yeah.
And it did back then because it was one of those that probably, I would guess, that it showed up on Hot Rod and Carcraft magazine
I think it
car
was on the
covers.
cover of
when it first-
Carcraft, wasn't it?
Motor Trend.
Motor
Trend.
No, excuse me, Car and Driver.
Car and Driver, yeah.
I've got the picture.
I remember it being a cover car on one of them, and I was
March of '72.
wow.
You see? Yes, exactly. It's just one of those kind of things that it just smacks of being on the cover of a car magazine.
Yeah, kind of like when I first saw that picture. Is this what I put this post out there on Facebook on the Brubaker box fan? So, okay, what triggered you into buying this car? You know, what triggers you? And that's the first thing I saw was this picture on that Car and Driver magazine. Yeah, that was it, man. And then it's like I said, you've been hooked ever since. So. I've had some connections with Curtis and then offers to buy it, things like that. But you know what? It's hard to replace something that you've owned all your life.
You can't do that.
And you have to have something better than that.
Well, no.
But you don't. But there's nothing better.
But you also put miles on it. This isn't just a trailer queen for you. You drive it around.
Yeah. Well, like I said, from '86 was this third restoration was in the early '80s, and then so it sat up from 1986 to 2017. And when I retired, that's when that was on my bucket list to go through this whole thing. So. Right now, this car's only got probably about 1,500 miles on it. Everything's new, the engine, all the drivetrain. We went through everything, new brakes, just wiring, everything, new paint.
Yeah, but it's all of that's Volkswagen pure.
Right.
So
right.
it's very easy to find parts for.
Absolutely.
And in my opinion, relatively simple to work on. It's not an overly complicated car.
Right.
But it's got a cool looking body on it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's just something different that nobody else has got to go riding around in. And trust me, all the years we used to go cruising in that thing off of Westheimer and stuff like that. I wouldn't believe all the, just the attention you get just going down the road.
Back then it was a chick magnet.
Well,
he's married.
Yeah,
you can't say
no,
that.
back then.
It could have been. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what. Yeah, okay, I'll go along with that. There's one time.
And as you explained,
there's no videos.
Yeah, really. Well, actually, there is.
There is now.
But as you explained Brubaker Box to a lot of
Yeah.
new people, do they recall it at all, or is it still kind of a
No.
a new concept?
Us guys out here, we go back and on the cars and stuff like that. A lot of those people kind of remember that when it came out. Very few people know what that car is all about.
Or that it has a name, or that it was built by such and such.
Yeah, today's people, no, they don't. But they're fascinated by it. I mean, they're just intrigued by this whole car and the whole setup of it. And when you tell them,
And then when you open the door, they
it's
look
like
at the
a
couch
Volkswagen.
and
Yeah. Oh, that's cool back there.
the curved couch.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
Got his bag of candy in there.
Hey, that's coming up Halloween. Hey, you gonna be at the Nifty 50s, right?
Probably.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. That's Halloween night. That's where all the candy goes.
Trunk or
That's
treat.
That's
right.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Great event. So, are you going to show it again at Autorama? I know you haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. We just came off of a show up there in Tomball. It was the Groove Fest.
Groove Fest.
Yeah, this is all VW show. So there you go. I mean, just all these 21 window vans.
Nice.
It's just nice music out. 3 live bands out there. It was just a nice.
We
turnout.
weren't invited to go, and I didn't know anything about it.
No.
Okay,
But now you're going to put us on the list. And
But
you're
your
gonna let us know.
Brubaker still draws attention in that kind of a Volkswagen fanatical meeting
Absolutely.
because they know what it is.
Absolutely.
And come to look at it and because probably a lot of people have never seen one in I
Yeah.
would say majority.
I've
vast
never seen
majority,
one in
never
person.
Seen one in person.
No, I never have.
I want to
You-
go. I want to go look at it.
You
later,
you
yeah.
never have seen these down here in Texas. Like I said, I've had these all these years, and I've never seen anybody down
So
here.
what
with
does the wife think about your car?
them. She had her
It's a
hands
chick
in it.
magnet.
She had her. No, I had that before. I better. No, she got her hands in it. This last restoration and this thing. Yeah, we both got in there. And
How fun. That's cool.
yeah, it was just like I said. We have to get. I had to change out the chassis, take out the gas tank, and just do. We just had to elevate everything and just. So she was there to help, and just like I said, just crawling in there and just working the floor jack and all
Now,
that stuff.
have you been married long enough for her to have seen this thing from the very beginning?
No.
No.
So what engine's in it? Because Volkswagens, you can go from a 1.1 to
Yeah,
a.
it's a 1641, and the only thing it's got there used to be a couple called Bug Pack out there, or is it Scat Pack? But anyway, it's got a camshaft. It's like an Engel 110 camshaft with the dual carbs on it, and it all came together as a kit back in those days. So it used to be a 1600. We just put some bigger heads on there, shimmed it out. And because you kind of keep it dependable to drive, because you start getting these things jacking up the performance, they become more and more unreliable. So it's basically a 1641. It's a good cruiser. It gets me to A and B. I don't break any sound barriers.
No air conditioning.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, the window's open.
Does it have a radio in it?
Yeah, it does have that.
An AM radio.
You got to have some tunes.
Yeah.
Gotta have tunes. But yeah, there's like my wife said. She said, "Doesn't this thing come automatic?" I said, "No." So, like at the Nifty 50, people says, "So what is that thing in the middle?" I said, "That's my and I'm pointing at the stick shift down here. That's my anti-theft device." He said, "What is that?" He says, "A stick shift."
What is that?
Clutch in it.
What is that? I said, "That's where you have to shift." He said, "Really?"
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about that.
So
But
the tunes back in '72 would probably be a Blaupunk.
Yeah.
A Blaupunkt. I had a Blaupunkt, actually. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
I'm thinking that.
Polk,
He said '72. Yeah. That's
yeah.
probably what it had.
Yeah.
Actually, they still make
I know.
Blaupunkt.
Yeah, my personalized tags on that thing back in those days was called Slow Ride
That works. That
by
works.
Fog Hat.
Yeah. Exactly.
So anyway,
good
that was a
tune.
cruising
Did
music.
you grow up here in Houston?
Oh yeah,
Where'd you
yeah.
go to high school?
Reagan. Well,
Reagan.
they call it Heights High School, but no, it's Reagan High School.
Reagan, yeah,
It'll
sure.
always be Reagan to me.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I grew up here in the Heights and stuff like that.
I did a car clinic a few years ago at Reagan.
Yeah, that's the good old memories there. This is before, like I said, it wasn't until I got out of service that I got involved. And back in the '70s, there was all kind of custom vans out there. And
Yes, they were.
And they were bukus of kit cars for these Volkswagens.
Oh,
Everything.
yeah.
MG, Lamborghinis, Ferraris.
I remember.
The bolt-on bodies.
Yeah, and there was even a Willis Coupe I've seen, and I mean just all kind of stuff out there. And so this was in that era where you can have a champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
but after all these years, there's a lot more money in that than the beer budget could
Yeah,
allow.
thank God it's only a 4-cylinder. So
Right. Yeah.
that's chrome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's great to talk to you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And
Thank
what a
you.
very, very cool car.
Thank you. So
Thank
we're
you
going to
very
come
much.
down and visit you after the
Yeah,
show's
absolutely.
over.
Don't
No
leave.
problem. Yeah, oh no, I'm not going anywhere. So
All right.
I'm here.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Barney Roden.
Brubaker box.
Yeah, the 69 VW Brubaker box. Be looking
Sweet.
for it at a show near you. All right. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the events calendar. Conrad has that.
So, again, Nifty 50s, Saturday nights up at Grogan's Mill. Kemah Car Meet tonight at 6 p.m. In Kemah. Also at 5 p.m. tonight is a Northside Park and Chill at 11207 West Hardy
A
Road.
North Side Park and Chill.
Park and chill.
Park
I
and
like
Chill.
that. Okay.
Do you bring
And
your own
then,
chill?
This weekend is Good Guys Lone Star Nationals up at the Fort Worth NASCAR track, and that's Friday through Sunday. Tomorrow, Car Culture Limitless for September 21, and that's going to be at the Pearland Town Center. And then if you're on the north side, the Muscle Car Meet at Kroger's on 99 East of 45. And then, again, the Audi Club Nationals in Austin, Texas. We'll bring the New Caney High School Auto Tech Show fundraiser, and that's going to be on October 9th at the New Caney High School parking lot. It's a $15 entry fee, and that's from our friend Jonathan Couch.
That's been this is from the postponement.
No, was this one postponed?
I think it was.
October 9th, and all the fundraising goes to the Auto Tech program there at New Caney High School.
Nice.
Really recommend people support that. And then, of course, Trunk or Treat will be at Nifty 50s the Halloween weekend.
Yeah. Did you see the whatever that is, a 34? It's
that's
a hot
rumbling
rod.
in.
Well, there's
Yes,
a lot of people here, and it's kind of hard to see through the folks that are out there.
Through the crowd.
Well, that's
Through
okay.
the crowd.
Good.
All right.
turnout.
Well, Mr. Mars doesn't have a new car review, but he's got a great story today
Good
on
story.
Smokey Unick's 67 Chevelle, and I was curious to find out about. I'm a Smokey Unick kind of a fan, if you want to call it
And
that.
he always pushed the rules.
Always, and,
Yeah.
with his pipe and his weird hat that he had.
Yep.
And, great tuner back in the day, and so tell us about the 67 Chevelle.
Well, first thing let me tell you, it was a typo. It happened in 1967, but it was with a 66 Chevelle. My bad. I mistyped it.
We're done. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, moving on. Time on. So what the car was, it was a 66 Chevelle, and it came out of the factory, and it was sent down to his shop. And one of the things it had was a 427 big block, but it was de-stroked down to a 416, so it would rev higher and rev faster. They put some heat shields on out over the headers to keep the heat deflected off of it, so the heat didn't get up around the carburetor, so it didn't suck any hot air.
This is a NASCAR.
This is a NASCAR. And the front bumper was actually altered and recessed a little bit back into the body.
Chasing aerodynamics.
Chasing aerodynamics.
Coefficient.
Had the underneath of the car was smooth. They smoothed out the entire underneath the car. Had a custom-built frame, pretty much like they do these days. Everybody else was running a Ford-type frame. That was considered the safest at the time. No matter what body style you had, you were supposed to be running that. He custom-built his. A lot of stories out there about how it would hold an extra 5 gallons of fuel. Some people say it didn't. Some people say it did.
Well, the story was
Yeah.
NASCAR took the fuel tank out of it and he drove it back to his garage.
Well, it was supposed to be empty whenever he ran it through tech, and he did drive it back to his garage. The other story was, and somebody wrote one article and said, I saw it, I was standing there. He drove it back to his shop on the street because he was so mad because they told him he was disqualified for all these other things. Had a little lip on the top of the body. In fact, at one time, you know how NASCAR will take a template? And
Yep.
so they took the template and they said, it doesn't match. He said, oh, yes, it does. So they went out into the parking lot and found another 1966 Chevelle, put it on there, and sure enough, it fit on his personal 1966
That
Chevelle.
also had the little wing on the back.
Exactly, yeah. It was his. Both cars were his, so they both matched.
Now the
so
fuel. Let's get back to the fuel. Didn't he have larger
Fuel lines.
diameter, and he also wrapped them like a snake through the vehicle so that they would.
Well,
hold
that
it.
was, again, to hold more fuel.
Yeah.
So he had all this stuff, and but so a lot of things, like we talked about last time, a lot of things that he got disqualified for back then
Would have
are
got you
okay
kicked
now.
out of NASCAR now.
Well, but no, some of them are legal now because they do run their custom frames instead of.
Oh, okay.
Because he actually had a letter after this event. They actually sent him a letter here that tells that he has to change to the Ford frame and a couple of other things. The front bumper's got to move back out an inch to where it goes to its original location. The tires and wheels have to move an inch because they got to be back in their original location because he moved the shocks and everything out closer. He did a lot of things. If it didn't say he couldn't, he assumed he could. And there was a
wasn't
problem
also
with that.
the rumor that this car was actually like a 7/8 size?
That was when they put
it wasn't 100%.
Right.
Well,
I heard that.
It
too.
was like 7/8 size, so it cut through the air better.
That's when they put it on the template. And again, they
his
took-
car was exactly
and
the
it was
same.
his car was exactly the
Smart
same, so
guy.
it matched.
I'm not cheating. Go measure the other car out in the
So-
garage I cheated with.
So when they disqualified him and disqualified his car, that's when he drove it back to the shop that was right there by the track. And he was really mad, hollering apparently a lot of obscenities and things as he left at the track.
Not back then.
So one of the guys from the sanctioning body, like Beard, I think was his name, went over there to talk to him about it, and he threw a hammer at him. So he
Ooh.
left. And then supposedly the other story I found was he sent him a check for $1,500 to cover his expenses since he got disqualified and couldn't race and try and win his money back. Supposedly, Smokey took the check and went into the bathroom and soiled it and sent it back to him.
Nice guy.
That's just another story about how it went. So anyway, that was a lot of action.
Smokey was a wild card.
And that was his last race with them.
With NASCAR?
Yes. So that's how he got disqualified.
Another banned race car.
And today he's a politician.
Yes, he is.
And
Unfortunately.
still soiling checks.
Yes, he is.
Government checks.
Soiling checks. Could you explain that to me?
It's a new breakfast cereal, Don.
Soiling checks.
Soil to checks.
Chocolate soiling checks.
Anyhow,
chocolate
let's wander off to something else here.
With marshmallows.
I didn't bring it up. I just was questioning. I've never heard a term before.
Well, he was hauling donkey.
I didn't either, but it was. Yeah.
He was hauling donkey.
He was hauling donkey through it.
God. Well, while we're on the subject of that sort of stuff, the Biden administration
Soiling everything.
is considering invoking a Cold War era national security law to force companies in the semiconductor supply chain to provide information on inventory and sales of chips, according to Gina Raimondo, the Commerce Secretary. The goal, according to her, is to alleviate bottlenecks that have idled U.S. car production and caused shortages of consumer electronics, and to identify possible hoarding.
No, it's just further intrusion into our freedoms.
The request is voluntary, but Raimondo said she warned industry representatives that she might invoke the Defense Production Act or other tools to force their hands if they don't respond. You know, my
Nazis.
take is on exactly.
Nazis.
Screw you. That's what I got to say. I'm not telling you anything because I don't have to.
I don't trust you.
No. What are you going to do with the information? And how is that going to change anything?
Not a
It's
thing.
not. Do you not think that car companies want to build cars and sell cars?
Yep.
Yes, they do. So leave them alone and let them do their business and stay out of it. Butt out.
Yankee Doodle.
Yeah. America.
I feel better now.
There you go. Tell us how you read.
Need my red Solo cup. I'm sorry. I'm Toby Keithing again.
I want to tell everybody that the
smell
In Wheel
funny.
Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, InWheelTime.com, and now Twitter. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The in-wheel time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Howdy, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today coming to you from the Topwater Grille in San Leon, Texas.
Yes.
And Woody's third annual Waterfront Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. We hope that we're getting out and being able to be heard and seen around the globe like we used to be able to. Are we today?
Yes, we are.
You're right. Thumbs up from our
Yes, sir.
chief engineer,
Yes, sir.
Mr. David Ainsley.
Because you know you can't trust what Mars tells you.
Absolutely not. Not today, not yesterday, and never in the future.
Come on now.
And we say that because he's not actually right here at the desk at the moment.
He's out wandering looking for guests.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It has been an interesting week as far as the news with cars is concerned, with the continuing and ongoing shortage of microchips, and they can't get the cars. They build them, but they don't leave.
And then they park them.
Yeah, and then they park them. And
Well,
in fact, I saw a picture this week online. Don't remember where it was, but somebody had actually taken a video and gone down the street somewhere in Detroit.
I think I sent
Of
it
all
to
the
you.
Chevys.
It was a closed GM plant
Right, yeah.
that had been closed for years, and they were using it as a storage lot for all of the Chevrolets that were made there in the Detroit area because they don't have all the chips in them, and they can't ship them. And when they do ship them, what are they going to do? They're going to have to find somebody to put the chips in them. Is it going to be the dealership? Because, when that happens, it starts this whole chain reaction of who's going to be responsible now. Is it going to be General Motors? It's going to be responsible for the chip in that particular GM car? Or is it going to be the installer that installed the chip?
And who's responsible for the vehicle as it sits in storage from weather damage or theft damage or something else? General Motors just announced they're going to reopen the Wentzville assembly plant and building Chevy Colorados and Canyons and the Chevy Express and Savannah full-size vans. And they've been down for 3 weeks since September 6th. So that kind of makes me think you're building the wrong vehicles because the demand is for full-size trucks.
Yep.
It's not for mid-size trucks. It's not for full-size vans.
My guess is that they've probably depleted the mid-size inventory to the point where they're going, okay, we're going to shift those chips that we need to build those trucks from cars or whatever else that they're building over here to replenish the inventory.
Well, the other thing they're doing is they're minimizing or restricting options. Because, automatic air conditioning requires a chip. So you can't buy a GM truck, full size or not, with automatic air right now, unless it's a Cadillac, because they can take that chip and use it somewhere else.
Yep.
And somewhere down the road you'll get a notification if you own that car. Okay, we're ready to give you what you paid for.
Oh no, they're just giving credit for the no automatic air. That's not something that's going to be easy to refit.
Really?
Oh no, that wouldn't be easy to refit at all.
Seriously.
And so
I was under the impression that some of the chips that they were leaving out of cars would be replaced at a
future date.
We say chips. What's going to happen is the manufacturers are going to build all these vehicles with all the harnesses, and the fix is going to be to plug in a new module. There's a chip inside the module, but they don't physically put a chip in it. It comes with a module, and you plug and play the module.
Because the modules are sealed, as far as I know.
Correct. So
you couldn't get
they'll
in there
be
anyway.
able to. They'll be able to upfit certain ones with modules, but if it's it's going to be overly complicated. So when you saw that Ford wanted the dealers to take the trucks in inventory, and then Ford would send them the modules or send them the chips, that would be a plug and play module that the dealer would plug in once they got it, and then be able to sell it. The problem is the dealers don't want the responsibility of those vehicles
being on their inventory,
right? Being
on
their floor plan
floor plan,
their
yep.
inventory for insurance purposes and damage and
taxes and
protection.
all of the other stuff that goes along with
So
it.
they want Ford to hold on to them, just like GM's holding on to them, just like Chrysler's holding on, or Stellantis is holding on to them. So who do we have joining us?
So coming up right down this aisle down here, there's this bright red 1947 Ford Convertible.
Oh, I saw that.
You
with
saw
the tan
that?
top.
Yeah. Well, that belongs to Art Pettit, and he's agreed to give us an update on what that thing's got. A lot of stuff on it.
Art, tell
Stuff.
first, you a local guy?
Yes, I'm from Houston.
Are you?
Yeah.
You grew up in Houston?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Sam Rayburn in
Sam
Pasadena.
Rayburn High School. All right.
Pasadena. Yeah.
Get down, Dina, sir. Don't you? I'm sure you've heard that a few times.
Oh,
the
yeah.
mascot.
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
said it a few times.
Yeah. But at any rate, so tell us about the car.
Well, I bought it from a lady that blew the motor up in it, and I had to put a new motor in it. It's got
Darn.
a 355 in it, and I had to put new brakes on it. It sat up for about a year and a half, and I had to put new brakes on it, and just little stuff that, wasn't working. Speedometer wasn't working, had to put some fuses and stuff in it. But the brakes was the big thing, and then, the motor too.
Well, let's start with the motor. So obviously,
She had a small block Chevy in it?
Yeah.
Cool lady.
I wanted to go.
How fast was she going when she lit it up?
She blew it up. She went to church in it, and she
Yeah.
blew it up. Leaving-
Little old lady from Pasadena just drove the car to church.
yeah, but it only blew up on the way home.
Yeah,
a
on the way
thermal
home,
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was wrong with the brakes?
I didn't have any.
None.
It didn't have any.
I mean,
at
did
Is
you
that
have to
maybe why
replace
she
all
blew it up?
all the
I
lines?
thought
and
I
everything?
was going to have to open the door and drag my foot because
Yikes.
I didn't have any brakes at all, and I went through the whole system, put master cylinder stuff on, brand new stuff.
And you did all this yourself?
No, kind of had some help.
Yeah. What? Some shop down the
Yeah.
street? You know what?
Midas.
There is a theme going on here today. All these guys that own these really fancy, nice cars, and they're going, "Yeah, I
got a guy.
Everybody's got a guy.
I got a guy.
You have to depend on the subject matter expert.
But
if
you
they
know-
know how to do it better than you do, sometimes it's worth
Oh, yeah,
spending
that's
money with
true.
them.
Well,
Yeah,
I was talking to
Otherwise, you'd still have no brakes.
I was talking to Jeff Zeke, and I told him, I said, there are some things that I'll do on my car, but other things I won't. One, when I was in my 20s, I would crawl underneath that car at the drop of a hat.
Oh, heck yeah.
Jack it up, put
Oh,
it
yeah.
on jack stands.
Not anymore.
Take off the exhaust
Well, he could crawl
system.
under it, just wouldn't be able to get back up.
That's true too.
I can't get under him. I'm a wide body.
So I don't do that anymore. That's for somebody
but-
else
Yeah,
to
let's
do.
But
for
you were-
somebody else.
He was a Corvette guy, so he was crawling under so he could wax the color that nobody else would see.
I
Yeah.
did that too.
Not surprised at all.
Yes, I did all of that.
Typical Corvette owner.
And we still have the
let's clean
equipment.
something nobody looks at.
We still have the equipment to get under there. It's just we don't use it.
We don't use it
Yeah,
anymore.
don't use it.
Right, and it won't
so
sell
put
at the
another
garage
355 in it?
I put a 355 in it.
Just somebody's crate motor?
Yeah, I got it from Speedway.
Okay.
And it's got a year warranty on it. So
So nothing fancy.
no, nothing
special.
fancy. It's a good cruiser. It's a heavy car, and I've gone to Gonzales, Louisiana in it. We just got back from Albuquerque, New Mexico. In it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So
I
what's
drive it. I drive it all the time.
And Albuquerque's
four-speed
nice, too.
automatic?
It's an automatic.
Okay.
700.
And gear ratio in the back?
I think it's 3 something. I'm not real sure what it is.
So it's not that hard to cruise in.
No. I get good gas mileage. So
It's got like a 305 gear ratio in the back
it's
end of it.
not
it probably does. I mean, I don't know because I hadn't taken it apart. So that's one problem I haven't had is the rear end.
Well,
so.
knock on wood that you
Yeah.
don't have it today.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So, do you do cruise-ins? Do you do that?
Oh yes,
Do you?
I've been out here once before, and I go all over Houston, and show it.
Have you been
I
to any of
drive
the tailpipes and tacos? At Lupe
Yes,
Tortilla.
yes. In fact,
Well, we missed you out there because we're out there every time.
Yeah, I know. Y'all were out there.
Yeah.
We missed the one. Well, actually, we didn't miss it. We moved to the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Kirby location this month.
Okay.
And then next month we'll be back out in Katy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Katy where I was.
Yeah.
Right.
Just one time.
So we'll
Yeah.
see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Is this your only hot rod?
Yes. Yes.
So what is your regular?
Well, I've got a 12 Camaro. I mean, that's not really a hot rod, but it's faster than that.
Yeah, and do you drive that every day?
No, my wife does.
Your wife drives
yeah, my
that.
Drive, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what is this your daily driver?
No, I've got an Avalanche.
An Avalanche.
Yeah, 2010 Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Fun truck.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame that truck didn't survive, but I think that it was.
I like it.
Oh, I love it.
You know, I remember when it was new and we'd have it in the press fleet. And the one thing that was so noticeable at the time, especially, was the fact that independent rear suspension and what a difference it makes in a pickup truck. Because, you know, the thing is, it's a half-ton pickup truck.
Right.
And with a straight axle and leaf springs in it like it was at the time, huge difference unless you had a big load in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Well,
But
and
that Avalanche solved all that problem.
When I worked for GM, the big fear was water leaks with that whole rear opening
Facade.
pass-through system, and it was never an issue. It was
No, it
really
wasn't.
never an issue in the Avalanche.
But
at
I'll
all.
tell you what, to take that back panel out, do you remember the commercial where they put, I don't know what, some other car in the back of it? Because they took out, and they had a car sitting in the back of it, and showing how universal it was. And
I liked Avalanches. I thought they were
Yeah.
a great truck.
I thought they rode very smooth.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
smooth riding
It
vehicle.
does.
You know, you take the clothes off an Avalanche, it's actually a Suburban. It was not a pickup truck.
Right.
It was a Suburban
Yeah.
that they cut the back off and put that bed and the flying buttresses in that
Yep.
generally went from black to gray in about 6 months.
No, it's
Oh,
That-
yeah.
that was
yeah,
a
it's
huge-
gray now.
That was a huge customer complaint about how that.
what color is
flying
your vehicle
buttress
and what
discolored
It's
it.
black.
With gray?
And with a gray.
with a matching gray flying buttress. But no, Avalanche was a great truck. They shouldn't have put that out of production. But
has,
Oh,
has
yeah.
it given you any trouble at all?
No,
None.
none.
None. Well,
how
there
many
you
miles
go.
it got on it?
107.
How many miles it got on the Ford?
64,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So that definitely sees some miles.
Yeah, it has.
And what year is it?
It's a 47
47 Ford.
Convertible.
convertible.
And now, is that a manual top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they offer an electric
No,
top?
no,
No.
but I know
You can put
I know
one
you
on.
can upgrade to an electric top on a customized vehicle.
But it's not a problem putting it down or taking it.
Pretty
putting
simple
it
up and
yeah,
down?
it's pretty simple.
Well, I'm just going to say, from my experience, which isn't a lot, that those manual tops, they made them in such a way that it was easy to put them up
Right.
and
Yeah,
down.
it just folds down.
Yeah.
You know?
It was not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And so many people go, you got to have an electric top on it. No, if it's a manual top, chances are pretty good that
Yeah.
it's going to go up and down pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do it by yourself? Does it take two people?
It takes two people,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. And how does it latch on to the top of the windshield?
The clamps. Got
Clamps?
3 clamps onto the top.
oh,
Yeah.
there's 3. So
Yeah,
there's a
there's
center
3.
one.
Yeah,
So
center one.
2 sides and a center. Okay, so it weather seals
Oh,
probably
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Probably better than a Pontiac Sunfire did or the
Hey,
Chevy
hey,
Cavalier.
hey,
Those
hey.
things leak like a sieve.
Hey, now.
Or
I
the,
can
or
only
the Cadillac Alante.
Oh,
I remember when the Cadillac
Stop
Alante
it.
came out.
Stop it.
The Italians built the body for them, and they said, well, if it doesn't get the driver wet, it's not really a water leak.
Nice.
Literally, I was in the meeting, and they said, no, if it doesn't drip on the driver, it's not. The Italians didn't consider it a water leak.
This is inside information we didn't know.
yeah.
Or want to know.
Stop dissing Cadillacs.
By the way, did you see the Cadillac pickup truck that pulled?
I
in?
saw that. I was just
I don't know what it is, but it
It's
has
got
a
a- it's got the-
Cadillac
Looks like an
badge.
Escalade
Emerald,
front
the
end
leaf.
on a.
Sorry, we're
Circle leaf?
talking to somebody else out there. You can see
Talk
it.
amongst yourselves over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. It's okay. So are you planning on winning a trophy here today?
No, not really.
You just came down to enjoy us
Yeah,
and to be
sure
on the
did.
show with
Yeah,
us.
just enjoy the day.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a great location.
My son's here with me, so
Awesome.
Does he get? How old is he?
he's 32.
Okay, so does he get to drive the toy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'll let him drive it.
Does he have any of his own?
No, he just got a pickup. He wants an older pickup. Is what he wants.
Well, don't we all?
Yeah.
The price of those, it goes up every day.
Matter of fact, I saw some T-shirts around here, the C10 Club.
Yep, they're here.
Yeah.
Yep. So
And orange
They had
one.
a big run last weekend.
I was just gonna say,
Waxahachie, that's the national C10
Yeah.
meet, or one of the national
So
C10
they had
meets.
quite a few there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd say they probably had.
did your son go and scout
No.
out what was available up there?
No,
No,
not
you
really.
pay top dollar when you go to
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those. It's kind of like going to Lone Star Throwdown. You're not going to find a cheap one
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
So, any future plans for the car?
It is what
No,
it is. You
it is what it is. I mean, I would like to, get some chrome on the motor and stuff like that. Just dress the motor up a little bit.
Well, you can do that. All it takes is
Eventually,
one.
I would like to, put another frame under it. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
'Cause you got
It
a
would
47
probably
Ford.
ride better. I mean, I'm not real sure because it rides good now.
Is it a 47 Ford frame underneath
Yeah.
it now? Okay.
Yeah.
Has it had any beefing up underneath there?
It's got a S10 front end on it.
Okay.
I'm running disc brakes all the way around. I've got a Cadillac rear end under it.
So, but as far as the frame is concerned, I guess with no,
It's
back
it's
then,
beefed up a little bit.
is it
It's,
because they didn't do a whole lot
no.
back then? I remember having that '77 Corvette that I had that had the T-tops. Oh my God! You took the T-tops out, that whole
twisting.
thing would twist and turn,
Yeah.
and it was a brand new car. That was
For a convertible, though, generally convertibles, even back then, they did do some stiffening, but it was generally in the body, not in
Yeah,
the frame.
in the body.
They used to call them shakers. They're like coffee cans they put in the back.
Yep.
That's true.
No, they called them shakers.
Yeah.
That's what I know them as.
You're talking about the hula girls that you put in the back window.
Oh no, that's on the
Kathy.
front
That's
dashboard. That's on the dashboard.
I need to get one of
They
those.
go up front.
Yeah, put it
And
on the dashboard.
what did
The
you
hula
put
girl.
in the
Put it on
back
the
then?
dashboard.
He had one of those Buddhas.
Buddha in
incense.
the back.
Rub its belly and pat its head.
God.
Gold
Yes.
ones.
Notice I could do that, though, right?
Now switch
my
hands.
belly and pat my
If you
head.
can
did
switch
that.
hands, you can play the drums. Well, there you go.
See, I am playing the drums.
I
I'm
know.
sure Don's about to blow a gasket.
bass
With me
drum.
putting noise into the sound system here.
They're always farting around with the
Yeah.
microphones and bumping them and popping the peas and doing all the things that they're not supposed
Changing
to do.
them
See,
out.
Don's the professional. He's in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Professional.
You know
what?
why he's in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame? Because
No.
he's old.
Old.
We're gonna get a shot.
Pretty
of
much.
that.
That's it. They don't induct young men into the Hall of Fame,
Oh
do they?
boy.
No, they don't.
So there's that. Well, it's great to talk to you.
Yeah, it's good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And
you
you
ever
can tell
listen
we
to
just
our?
have a lot of fun.
Tell us the truth. Do you ever listen to this show?
No, when is it?
That's what I thought. It's on Saturday mornings,
What time?
8 to 11,
Okay.
and
right now.
it's on the internet.
Okay.
Facebook, In Wheel Time,
And?
InWheelTime.com. We're also on YouTube.
And what,
We're on-
Twitter.
What radio station is it?
Well,
No, we're not
we're
on a damn
stationless.
radio station because the radio station that we were on has absolutely no ratings whatsoever. So why waste our money by
Yeah.
putting this fine award-winning car show on a radio station that has no rating? We brought ratings to the radio station. we
won-
did.
We win an award to do this?
And we got off.
We did.
We got off of the radio, and they went back to no ratings again.
They did.
So there's that.
Okay.
Well, on top of when COVID hit, they locked their doors, basically. So
Okay.
There's still people in
So
there.
it's
locked
on
we
in.
were saying
it's on
goodbye.
the internet.
We said adios, amigos.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
You can stream all of this live on your phone.
Okay.
You got a phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can do that. And then let me ask you this. Do you have one of those deals like I've got that you plug into the cigarette lighter? And
Yes.
the Bluetooth thing in
Yeah.
the cigarette lighter? See, that works great for me.
Okay.
I thought
Yeah.
you had one of those things when you fell down and call the emergency number.
That's at the
I've
house.
fallen and I can't
Get up.
Yeah,
That's
but you
at the
you
house.
can get a cellular one that you can take with you, though.
You
at
can?
that.
Yeah.
Look at that
I
foul.
like that.
So forget the phone. We just have the button.
Exactly.
Okay. And so it's basically a one-button phone is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of goes with the age.
And
thing.
it's red.
It does.
And this poor guy's going,
As long as I can remember that I've got the button around my neck,
And
that's
it's
the
red.
other
Well,
problem.
the way they take care of that, it senses when you fall.
Oh, it
Or-
does.
Oh, I thought you have to fall on the button.
No,
No,
that's
no.
the easy button that you have around your neck.
Oh, that's what it is.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Sir, thanks so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you very much. It was a
Love your
pleasure.
car. Really caught our attention when you drove
Thank
in.
you.
Really,
Thank you.
really pretty
Yep,
car.
we appreciate it and hope to see you again. And hey, give us a shout every once in a while, you know? Yeah,
We'll,
okay.
we'll see you at Lupe Tortilla.
Yeah, Lupe Tortilla. All right. I don't have I don't have anything else, but no, I do have something else. It's one of your features. Do you mind doing one
Features and headlines.
I'm talking to you.
You want which one do you want me to do?
Well, I don't know. Just pick one.
I've got quite a few here.
All right.
you
Well,
go.
we'll pick one.
We're
Which
gonna
one
do the one I
haven't you
gave you.
done?
Well, let's do race calendar.
Let's do the racing calendar.
So,
Let's do racing.
you know, today is NHRA Midwest Nationals, which is kind of Chicago. Erica, as of last night, was qualified fourth. You know, so you know, there's people that we follow, and then next weekend.
well, you gotta follow the hometown girl.
Yeah, she's a
Absolutely.
friend of the show, too.
Four-time world champion.
Yeah.
And then next weekend is the Texas NHRA Fall Nationals up in Ennis, and we know there'll be the whole flood of Emmons brothers will be going up there.
You know, that's not a problem.
I had a chance to speak with the Emmons brothers.
She was fourth last night, so she might have qualified better. Okay. But anyhow,
We're getting updates right now.
we're
Yes,
getting
I know.
updates.
From
So,
the fans.
So the Emmons brothers, I imagine Dale's going to go up.
I would imagine so. I haven't talked to
Stan-
them. I saw them all last weekend, and it was good to see them, but we didn't talk about drag racing.
And then on the 17th to be Bristol, on the 31st to be Las Vegas, and then the finals to be the 14th of November in Pomona. NASCAR is tomorrow night in Las Vegas. On the 3rd of October is Talladega, and then on the 10th of October is Charlotte, and then on the 17th is Texas. Then remember that Formula One is coming to Coda in on the 24th. So if you look at lots of world level.
World class, yeah.
World-class racing's happening in Texas over the month of October with NHRA, NASCAR, and Formula
See,
One.
you were telling us earlier about, storing your car for the winter, and I said, nay. Nay. We're not storing our car for the winter just yet.
Just yet.
We have to wait until Autorama at Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanksgiving
then after
weekend.
that, then you can store your car.
And that's why we'll build into that story as we talk about different systems on the car and how to prepare them for
All right.
storage.
You
And
can
you
twist my arm and convince me of that. if
Make
like.
you believe I was prepared for this.
Formula One is when? Nay on Formula. No, Ray on Formula One.
Formula One is the 24th of October. This weekend they're in Russia.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. So driving around
Niet.
Sochi. And supposedly they're going to Turkey. I can't
Nostrovia.
imagine they're going to do Turkey.
Nostrovia, Koki.
And then November they're in Mexico.
Vodka.
Right.
But it's a vodka.
Well, vodka translated in Russian is actually water.
Do we have vodka over here yet?
No, the bar's
no.
not open.
Well,
What?
Mars, you need to
Come
talk
on.
to somebody. We
Where's
need
your
Hey,
son?
Woody, how come the bar's not
Yeah,
open?
let's get these
some
bars
breakfast-
open.
we need
We
some breakfast
want bars.
Bloody
cocktails.
Mary's
We
out
want
here.
bars.
We've got a built-in audience. Everybody's gonna. They're
Yeah.
all
See,
begging.
tell me the bar wouldn't be busy if
They're
None of
all
these-
the
begging
line
for.
walked right past the front of it.
Everyone's coming through here. No one's bringing us drinks.
Well, I mean, we need to have drinks for them to buy us drinks.
Well.
But
Well, this is Saturday. You can buy early on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Nostrovia.
You just can't buy early on
Vodka.
Sunday.
Vodka.
vodka. Okay,
So
continue
that's the
on.
race.
I'm sorry.
That's the racing calendar.
Oh, that's the racing calendar. Okay. So, do you want me to do some news
Formula
now?
One.
I can do news.
Oh, look at that. He's
it's
hauling,
a jet ski.
He's hauling donkey.
He's
out there.
hauling donkey.
You know, General Motors unveiled 3 new motors to power their various electric vehicles.
By the way, speaking of which, they stopped or are going to stop making. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We don't
They-
have anything to open though.
I know. Hey, they're going to stop making some motor. GM is some hot rod motor, an LS motor.
Yeah,
that-
stop making the LS. Yeah, crate
is
motors.
is it the Z06 motor? Or, I don't. Did you not
is it
hear
six
that?
or- yeah, Z08.
That was a story that they're going to
Z6.
stop making this.
Might be the LFA. which is the supercharged,
The CA.
Yes.
lower powered one.
Well,
versus
I
the
don't know. They're
LS9.
going to stop making it, and everybody's up in arms over it. No, don't do that. But apparently something else is going to replace it.
Yeah, all these electric motors that they're building for their Ultium powered vehicle, Ultium drive underpinnings. So so they come out with a 180 kilowatt front drive motor.
I can't. How do you relate to that? 180 kilowatts. Oh, well, that 180 kilowatts will get me up to 150 miles in the quarter mile. Now we're talking, but I don't know what that means.
255 kilowatt rear wheel or front wheel drive motor, and the 62 kilowatt front wheel drive.
How many
motor.
horsepower is that?
Who's got the formula for that?
That's the number on the back of the Cadillac. That's kilowatts.
No, it's not.
no.
That's
the Newton meters.
Newton meters.
Fig Newton.
That's
The Fig Newton meters.
That's for torque.
That is torque.
Torque and Newton meters.
And then you heard
European.
Carlos Goshen was back in the news, right?
He got out of the suitcase and he's stirring up.
Well, he's
crap
finally.
again.
Can you believe he still owned Nissan stock? He finally sold all of his Nissan stock, and now he's getting ready to sell all of his Renault stock because he's saying that the Nissan-Renault merger is a disaster.
That's a
Well,
Renault.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Renault.
Renault.
Leon.
It's not Leon.
It's Leon.
No.
Well, he didn't. He's the one who organized the Nissan-Renault merger.
Remember these folks?
Well, he's once in.
We remember you. Yeah, the
Yep.
ambulance.
All right,
Good to
so
see ya.
all right, thank you very much. Here are some of the stories making headlines this week. Toyota's once-in-a-generation top-to-bottom redesign of its full-size 2022 Tundra pickup aims to thrust the long-time laggard back into the competition with the Detroit 3 and give the brand its best hope in years to pick up some share in the highly profitable segment. I don't know who wrote that, but
Twin-turbo V6.
Set to go on sale in U.S. dealerships late this year, the new Tundra will bear little functional resemblance to the current model, thank God, which went on sale in 2007 and trails in domestic competitors in fuel economy, technology, and sales volume. Yes, twin-turbo V6, 389 horsepower,
Nice.
479 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed automatic transmission.
Built in San Antonio, Texas.
Yep, and fuel economy has yet to be announced, but as far as sales are concerned, here's the latest in sales. Ford F-Series, 362,000 in the first 6 months of this year, almost 1 million of them going to go out the door. Ram right behind them, increased sales in the first 6 months of this year to 313,000. Chevy Silverado, 286,000.
No, they're way behind
GMC
Ram.
Sierra, 138,000, and the Toyota Tundra, 43,865.
Yeah, but they're in better shape than the Nissan Titan at 17,000.
Yeah, well, there's that. But mark my word, Nissan's right around the corner with something new. And dealers see the hiring of the former Ford executive as a sign Stellantis will give the brand the care and investment it needs. And that is the Chrysler brand.
Great.
Christine Fuel, a former global marketing strategist at Ford Motor Company, took over as CEO of Chrysler last week. She has the task of reviving a brand that's been relegated to the declining minivan and large car segments for years as consumers gravitated to crossovers instead. Part of the agenda expected to include an electrified crossover that would share a platform with, get this, the Dodge Charger and Challenger, and be built alongside them, according to Auto Forecast Solutions. And those are the headlines topping our news this week.
You heard that the CEO of Toyota has warned against full inclusion of electric vehicles because it'll lose millions of jobs worldwide.
Oh, boy.
There's that. All right, time now for a quick break. We're back here on the In Wheel Time Car Show right after this.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Loopy founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, tailpipes and tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Loopy tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, tailpipes and tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Live from the 3rd Annual Woody's Waterfront Car Show, this is the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time. Thanks for joining us today. Coming up, we talk with a few more of the show-goers here today. We'll review our featured vehicle of the week, the 2021 Lexus GX 460.
All right.
We got your weekly cruise-in calendar, this week in auto history, and the stories making auto news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars down there, King Conrad DeLong here. We need more Jeff Zekin there.
We do.
And we have our chief engineer and head pilot, David Ainsley. He's with us today as well. So glad that you could join us. It's a beautiful day down here in San Leon, Texas.
It's gorgeous.
And David,
down here.
thank you very
Gorgeous.
much for fixing all the internet issues we've had.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate
Thank
your
you, David.
expertise.
Thank you, David, for being with you, David. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
David.
everything that you do, and we know it's a lot.
For being
Not.
you, David. Thank you for being you.
Yeah, he shows up, he plugs in some wires and twists some knobs, and he's good
Yep.
to go.
Yep, there you go.
Isn't that it? Well, yes, I am. And thank you for reminding me how worthless I really am.
Hey,
Okay.
hey.
Our next guest here
hood on
in the
that
remote studio today is Eric Nolan, driving a 54 International.
Cool.
That's cool. And you
appreciate it.
know that that's cool. Don't you? You probably have people all the time telling you that's cool.
Your wife's showing pictures, so she knows it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
it
probably
gets a
not
lot of attention.
It's probably not something you run into others of. Probably very unique in itself. So tell us about the truck.
Are you a car guy?
Yeah.
You always have been a car guy?
Yeah.
So you probably had something before this.
Yeah, we've had quite a few different toys.
Yeah. And so, well, this one, the 54 International, did you go searching for a truck? Or did you just happen to run across this and say, that's the one, I want that one?
Yeah, we were looking for a truck, and I kind of like the rat rod style. My wife didn't like it. We saw this, and she liked it, so it was
Well, it was
Kinda
kind of
worked out
a
perfect.
compromise, kind of, because it actually has that kind of a rat rod look to it. I mean, you just don't
But
see
a modern.
You don't see 54 Internationals on the road. So is it a half-ton, three-quarter ton, 1 ton? I couldn't tell by the picture.
So from the cab up is a 54 International, is originally a fire truck. The back end is a 54 International pickup truck.
Wait a minute. You just breezed over
Yep,
the fact
yep.
that it was a
He-
fire truck.
Yes, he did.
That's cool. Now, does
Yeah.
it have a fire truck frame on it?
No, it's on a 78 F350 chassis.
Now, did you do that work?
No, we didn't do the chassis work.
Okay. So you
so is it
bought
a
it as
7.3
is.
diesel?
No, it's a big block 460.
Okay.
And then back half on ladder bars, panhard on the back. and the airbag kit on the front with a drop eye beams and all of that.
Wow.
Now, have you been out to the
Lone Star Throwdown?
Have you been out to Lone Star Throwdown?
No, I haven't.
Oh, they'd love to see your truck
Yeah,
at
they
Lone
would.
Star Throwdown.
Dude, that is a ringer. Do you know about Lone Star
Yeah.
Throwdown? Yeah. Have you been out there?
No, I've never been to it.
You need to go.
Lonnie and Todd
Okay.
are friends of the show, and we usually do the show every year up there in February or April or March.
Y'all would really enjoy it. Plus, you'd also enjoy all the attention your truck would get.
Oh, your truck would draw thousands of people to come look at it just for the uniqueness of it, and that's part of what makes Lone Star so much fun is everybody brings out their toys, and not being able to see other internationals, that's quite. So where did you find it?
Up the little path, probably a couple hours past Madisonville.
Okay.
We went and picked it up there.
So, like along the Oklahoma border?
No, Madisonville's
No.
south of Dallas.
Yeah, south of
Yeah,
Dallas.
south of Dallas, about 2 hours.
I think
But
is there a
between
Buc-ee's
Houston
up
and
there?
Dallas.
I know where Madisonville
There's a Buc-ee's
is.
everywhere.
I know where Madisonville is. Thank you very much.
If you tell him there's a
But he
Buc-ee's
said
there,
2
he'll know.
hours north of Madisonville.
No. Okay.
Madisonville?
Where would that put it?
They would put it north of
I
Dallas.
thought he meant 2 hours north of here in Madisonville, but that's okay. No big deal. So was it?
No, it's a big deal. You just basically said I'm a dumbass, so it is a big deal.
No, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that already. This
So-
is what I have to put
so
up.
was
You
it
don't
what-
put up with this every week, do you?
Yeah.
No, you
She's agreeing with.
I
it.
quit. That's
So-
it.
So who did the work on your vehicle?
Was it? Was it what it is today when you picked it up? Or
Yeah,
did
it
you
was
modify
put
it?
together. We've done quite a bit since we've had it. I mean, it needed brakes, engine work, bunch of electrical tedious stuff that we had to put together.
That is so ugly.
So
too,
you
that
with a group of
electrical
guys, or
work.
what?
Do what?
You had it with a group of guys. You took it somewhere. Or
No, we've done pretty much everything in the
Yourselves?
garage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was chopped and it's 8 inches. I still have to work on some windows and glass. The front's cracked just because the chop, they're not as rigid, so it flexes.
Right.
So I'm probably going to get a Lexan windshield put in it, just so I don't have to worry about the cracking. My driver's side door window rolls down about 2 inches. All the tracks in it and the rollers are all shot. So that's when it's not a 100-degree project to tear all that down and sit in the garage and go through all that.
Oh,
No air conditioning.
No.
What powertrain?
It's a 460 with a C6.
Okay.
And then the Dana in the back with 411s.
Oh, it's
So
not a highway car.
crazy low geared.
I was gonna say it's not a highway car with
No.
411s in it.
No,
do you have a plan on changing that, maybe putting a higher gear in it?
I'm trying to decide if I want to put a 4-speed or go with a gear vendor setup for the overdrive.
Put the gear vendor bolt on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to, because it's on the 18-wheeler with a 22.5, so it's a whole lot of weight on the back to turn. So I don't want to lighten the gears up because then I lose too much taking off.
Yeah.
So if I either go with a 4-speed or just the electric overdrive, the bolt-on, at least it'll make it a little more highway friendly.
Well, that's what he's trying to do with his Oldsmobile.
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to, when I do something with it, which will be eventually, I'm going to probably put a 4-speed automatic in it. Because the gear vendor would be nice, but I think I can get a 4-speed automatic in it cheaper.
Yeah. And hopefully this winter I'm going to take it. Still got the steel heads on it and put aluminum up front, get rid of a little bit of weight.
Yeah. And he's going to do it for the weight savings. No, he's going to do it for the valves and the flow and all the other good stuff that goes along with it.
All that comes with it, but on the front, on air with that big block, it's still kind of bouncy, even with those bags aired all the way tight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's it probably weighs?
It's
6,000 pounds?
Yeah, it's almost 6,000. I think it's about 57 across the scales. So,
yeah.
So when they put the fire engine cab on it, do you have any idea what happened to the rest of the fire engine?
it was just the cab. It was cut with the box off the back, so it was just a cab and front half of the chassis and wheels sitting.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, it was in a salvage yard. They pulled
That's
it
where
out
you
of.
bought it? No, it's where the fire.
Yeah, that's where it originated from. And the front's still almost all original paint on it. So the fenders, the cowl, the hoods, everything's still single stage, which we put a couple coats of ceramic so, it doesn't absorb everything that
Right.
touches it. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because you can't you're not allowed to repaint it that way anymore.
yeah, the back is all airbrushed with a whole bunch of rust drips and weathered look to it to blend it in. And the paint on the back is pretty good to match the front, but if anything happens, it's going to be a whole fix everything and repaint because you can't get it back. It's still got just the stamp gold leaf down the doors, the lettering and all that.
Oh, cool.
So,
and that's the original from the fire truck.
Yeah, the original gold leaf stripes down the cowl, down the doors.
Yeah. Did it have any sirens on it from the 1950s? It did. Does it still do?
Yeah, it's got the big giant chrome bell with the light, and I've got 2 reds on the front and 2 cabs that light up.
Keep Don away from it. He'll be playing with the sirens the whole time.
Then it's got of course it's on bag, so it's got a compressor. It's got 4 air horns and.
Yeah, baby. Do you ever let it all go at once?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my wife likes to turn them on all the time. We have it parked somewhere, especially when kids are around.
That's right. Blame the wife. Oh, it is. She's agreeing to it.
So, I mean, have you just kind of on a Saturday night, pull up to 1960 in Kirkendall and just let it all light up right out there in the middle of the intersection?
No.
I know it's illegal, but I mean, that's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to be, oh, look, there's an old fire truck with a great big motor in it, and it looks bad to the bone. I mean, come on. You got to live on the edge a little bit, and we know that you know how to live on the edge.
I would in a heartbeat. I wouldn't hesitate.
Oh, yeah, I would
They'd be
too.
dragging me and the truck to jail.
It is fun at the red lights. You bump the siren, have people start pulling away. Yeah.
Send all of your ticket information to Conrad
at inwheeltime.com. That's right. And what's wrong with that? So plans? Other than the obvious what you've talked about, the windows.
Does it have AC?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got the little knee kicker under dash AC on it.
Now you just got to get the windows to close correctly.
Yeah,
well, and help the AC.
No, they close. They just don't come down. They don't open.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, AC is. It's got to be for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you Houstonian?
From Baytown.
Baytown, Texas.
Yeah.
All right. And so you're familiar with the car scene around here. Yeah. So every place that you go to with that truck, I guess everybody comes talking to you.
Oh yeah, it draws a crowd everywhere.
I would think so.
And not even at any car events, pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. So I would imagine that you have had these kinds of cars before in your life, where it drew this kind of attention.
Not this much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else we had was like this.
How long have you owned this?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, we went through a lot in a short time on it.
Wow.
It's every weekend and after work.
Yeah.
Working on everything.
Now, did you drive it down here?
Yeah.
You drove it?
We drive it. Yeah, we can't trailer it. We have a tow bar on the front. So it's got the dual. I've got 2 bed flaps that come up for a bed cover, and you can get to the drive shaft from the top. So the thing sits about 6 inches off the ground.
Yep.
So you can drop the drive shaft from the top in a couple minutes. So if we tow it somewhere, we can put a bar on the front and move it. But it's too wide for a car hauler. By probably the front fenders are probably 8 or 10 inches too wide for the fenders. And then the big deck overs is too low to make a transition from the dovetail.
So the next
deck.
purchase is going to be a flatbed 18-wheeler.
I was thinking the same thing. Will you imagine what that would look like? That'd be awesome.
So I told her I wouldn't mind getting an old truck and putting a hydraulic flatbed tow truck on the back. That we can pull it up on that and then take them both.
And have a look to it.
And she keeps nodding her head, so she's all into this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Get you an old cab over. Get you an old COE.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, did she know that you were into all this hot rodding stuff when she married you?
Yeah.
She did. So she married you anyway.
So do you have a toy as well? Okay.
You could have
this is a his and
the,
her.
The wife is working on her toy. So what kind of toy do you want?
She's going to have the semi truck.
She's our next interview.
Yeah.
So. Okay. All right. Well, at any rate, it's great to talk to you, and we're enthralled. There are some really unique, different kinds of cars. Are you going to show this thing at Autorama?
We were thinking about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to take it there or not.
Why?
Because I'm not sure I'm going to have it where I want it by then. That's a month away.
Well,
A
yeah.
month and a half.
But I mean, what is there? I mean, it sits still in a show. I mean, everybody really wants to see this. I promise you, they do. Yeah, and that would be a fun. We have connections there, by the way.
Well, yeah, we actually talked about it, and I've got a little bit more body work and a little more pinstriping I want to get knocked out on it. A little more wiring cleaned up.
Tick-tock, baby. 4 weeks is a lifetime.
Yeah.
You've seen the car shows where they're slammed after, 3 years, and we're going to make that SEMA show, by golly, and it's only 2 weeks away. And we've only got motors and everything else to put on the car.
And painted.
You can do it.
Yeah,
you don't
but-
need that
yeah, but
job.
I
Forget
probably
that.
can, but
Dave,
You don't wanna
Dave
kill
Mendick's
yourself.
I'm not
got
putting that
60
much
people
time in.
working for him.
I got you.
Sounds like
No.
us when we do the show.
we might take it out there, though.
Well, I would assume that they're still going to have the show out front as well, the cruise-in out front.
Yeah.
You familiar with that? Yeah. And so there's always that option too, I think. I don't have all the details of this coming
Yeah,
show.
where they close Avenida and you can just drive in and cruise in and park.
Right.
Yeah.
For a few hours that day. And that's always a fun event because it draws people. It's kind of like this. It draws all sorts of different cars that you normally don't see at your regular cruise-in on a Saturday night. Do you live in Baytown now?
Yeah, we live in Baytown.
So how did you get here?
Up 146.
146.
Yeah.
In that truck.
In that truck
Yeah.
on 146.
Yeah, at about 55 or 60.
Yeah.
And that's wound up with a 411 rear
So you
end
went
in it.
over the Fred Hartman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was it open today? Or is
Yeah,
it
it's-
still a screwed up nightmare? Thank you,
No.
Highway Department.
It's been open for a little bit.
So all the lanes are back open again?
Yeah, both sides, north
Well,
and south.
so it's a miracle. So it's been a couple of weeks then since that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've covered multiple wrecks on that thing, and that's bad.
Don's the
No, we
Channel
don't even,
13
We don't want to even go.
traffic guy in the
there.
helicopter.
We don't care about any
So
of
when
that
you
stuff.
when you see messed up traffic, it's Don's fault. So blame him.
right,
And you
people
just cuss
looking
him
up,
out.
going, "Oh, there he is now." Yeah, well,
I like the police chases. Those are fun.
yeah, well, we had one yesterday, but anyway, it's great to talk to you.
Y'all
Thanks
too.
so much for stopping by. It's great
Thanks
to
for
meet
bringing the
you and
truck
your
out.
wife, and thank you. And
No problem.
we will see you soon.
Okay. Yeah, if y'all aren't walking around, we're right behind the tent.
You know,
when you come in.
we're going to find you because I want a up close and personal tour.
Okay, yeah, come check it out.
And next month we're at Lupe Tortilla in Katy, so bring that out.
Yeah, from Baytown to Katy.
Why not?
Uh-huh.
He does.
50.
Whoa.
Yeah,
We'll probably tow it behind the truck going that far.
yeah.
That thing gets about 4 or 5 miles per gallon, so
That's with the
We'd love to see
tailwind.
you.
yeah, and it's got a little 20-gallon cell, so we get
Ooh.
100 miles maybe.
Yeah, tow it out there, and you'll be fine. It's good
right.
to see you. Thanks so much. We appreciate you stopping by.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Mars, it is time now for my car review. And I tell you that because you haven't sent me the last car review, which I know that you'll do on Monday. Yeah. I didn't get the last car review.
I'm writing it down right now.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
Is that with the checklist as well?
No, this is the new checklist to find the old checklist.
Okay.
With the tablecloth and the cable.
That's
And
it.
the,
Okay.
and the chairs.
And the chairs, yeah. I think we have the chairs in the in the studio, but we won't need them next weekend, will we?
I like
All right.
these chairs.
Do you? They are kind of comfy, aren't
They
they?
are
Take them with us.
All right, time now.
I can't get the review up.
It's time now for this hour's car review. Do we wait on you?
No,
Jeff?
go for it. I'll
Okay.
catch up.
This is the 2021 Lexus GX 460. It comes in 3 trim levels: the base, the premium, and the luxury. I got a chance to drive the luxury. This is called a standard SUV by United States government. This is a body-on-frame design. And to be honest with you, what it really is a Toyota 4Runner with a Lexus body on it. Did you know that? Yeah, I didn't either. Seats up to 7 passengers. If you squeeze that third row back there, don't do that. If you're going to have a third row, buy one that's designed to have a third row in it. Exterior changes from last model year, none. It was all new in 2010. You know, Toyota sometimes likes to hang on to their designs, and this
For a
is one
little
of
while.
those. Exterior features include oversized Lexus grille with that edgy light treatment up front, straight side windows with a kicked-up D-pillar, Running boards, yep, it's got them with big rear wheel haunches. Good looking, beefy rear hatch with a short overhang. What I liked about it, the overall appearance gets an A in my book. Even though it is 11 years old, it still works today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What could use improvement? Nothing. Keep on keeping on, as I like to say. Interior highlights, well laid out controls, including on the steering wheel. All nicely labeled, and everybody, no secrets. It's easy to read. There you have it. Boom. Big center stack with easy-to-use infotainment system. Big gauge instrument panel with the center info screen on it.
And that's a big center info screen.
It's relatively large.
Yes,
Old
it is big.
school cruise control is a joy to use. And I know that on a lot of the Toyota branded products, they are going to this new design now where it's all integrated into the steering wheel. Keep this. It's good. I like it. Cargo trunk room, adequate without the third row. What I like to say, what I liked about it, simply the simplicity of the interfaces up on the dash. What could use improvement? It could be a little dated when compared to some of its competitors, but, you know, it is a Lexus. It's an old school design, but it still works today. I think it's great. 4.6-liter V8, 301 horsepower, 329 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission. And it has a full-time all-wheel drive system on it. Tow rating, 6,500 pounds. It gets 15 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway for combined of 20. Combined of 16. I got 20 miles per gallon over 211 miles.
Well, that's better.
What I liked about it, the smooth V8 power. And even though it is a small V8, there's something about a V8 engine that is irreplaceable in my opinion.
Torque.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
It's the torque.
even small capacity, it's still going to give you a nice torque feel.
Clearly what could use improvement is the gas mileage, but when you get into this price range, I don't think that most people really
And
give
it's
a hoot.
full-time four-wheel drive or
It is.
all-wheel drive. You can't
Yep.
disconnect it.
Ride and handling, it has adaptive suspension on it. I like that a lot. What could use improvement? This is built to venture off-road. If that is not important to you, then I would suggest you look for a crossover vehicle. But this is really an off-roader, as I mentioned. It's built on the Toyota 4Runner platform. Pricing, base trim price $53,250. Prices tested $71,255. Remember, though, this is the top of the luxury line with the luxury trim level. Base model price $64,365. Competitors, Land Rover Discovery goes for $62,205 for a starting price. Chevy Tahoe Z71 off-road, $65,185. I had to come up with something, and I think that it's competitive as far as its off-road design and a V8 engine.
Yeah, but I would think that the 4Runner platform would be better off-road than the Tahoe, even the Z71.
Probably so. And then the other one would be the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit, which is their off-roader, the nice one.
Yep.
$63,025 is where that starts. And that's my review of the 2021 Lexus GX 460 Luxury.
All right.
All right. How did you do? Did you catch up with
Yeah,
me?
I caught up to you.
Got-
But did you see that lady carrying 2 Bloody Marys and walked right by us and didn't stop?
Is the bar open?
I don't know. She had Bloody Marys in her hand. There she is.
Is the Bloody Mary, is it
See?
open here?
You got to go inside and get them.
Well, or you could bring them to us.
Can
or
we-
just give us yours.
Can we see that for a minute? Just for a minute.
No,
We're just saying.
No, she's already drank from it. She's already
Yeah.
bitten the
Oh,
celery.
She's already
Gee
bitten
whiz.
the celery.
There's nothing like bitten celery.
Yeah, nothing like it at all. All right. Did we do the cruising calendar? We're missing something.
No, we already did the cruising calendar.
Okay,
we
but
still
we're
have,
missing something.
Well, we still have at some point history, auto history.
Well,
There you go.
You want to do auto history? We have time for
if
that
we can
right
get
now.
Jeffrey to gear up.
Oh, no, not me again.
You know, Jeff was
Once
struggling
again-
with turning off a video
No,
source.
they wouldn't let me
before
turn it
you
off.
turn it
and
on.
You gotta, yeah, it's.
So when you're ready, Jeff, you let us know.
I'm ready.
Okay, he's ready. So let's do This Week in Auto History.
So in 1908, William Durant founded General Motors Corporations and collected several car companies, including Buick, Oldsmobile, and Cadillac, to form the Goliath of the automotive industry. And eventually, come 1912, when Cadillac introduced the self-starter and quickly made it hand crank obsolete. That helped propel sales, and then as General Motors grew, they collected Chevrolet, Delco, Fisher Body, and Frigidaire.
I wonder where I could get a shirt with a collar like that on
no
it.
kidding.
I have
Those
shirts like
guys do not look happy. This is Charles Kettering
down.
from Detroit, Michigan. He applied for a patent on the original ignition system, and he created Delco, which was Dayton Electronic Laboratories Company, and which eventually became a subsidiary of General Motors.
Yep.
And Kettering was quite the inventor in his day. He developed lots of lighting systems, lacquer finishes, anti-lock, fuels. He developed leaded gasoline to deal with spark knock, and also the electric starter. In 1955, Ford produced its 2 millionth V8 engine. The flathead was the powertrain of choice back in those days.
That's pretty.
And then in '55, it was very much on its waning age, as Chevrolet had released the overhead valve, Oldsmobile had released the Rocket V8, and everybody else was coming out with more powerful V8s. So that was pretty much the last year for the flathead. In 1960, California hot rodder Mickey Thompson takes another shot at the world land speed record. A few weeks earlier, he had gone 400 miles an hour in one direction in his Challenger 1, but he couldn't turn the car around, and to set the record, you had to go both ways. And they took the average of the two out at Bonneville.
Huh.
So in Challenger 2, and you got to remember, Mickey Thompson eventually was murdered in his house, a big, long controversy.
They never found the murderer.
To this day, they still don't know who killed him. So,
and wonder why.
In 1965, the amphib car was taken across the English Channel.
Oh, my.
It was one of the only mass-produced amphibious passenger vehicles, and there were actually about 3,000 of them sold
You ever
here in the
taken a
United
ride
States.
in one of those things?
No.
It is the weirdest thing you have ever been
sure
in your
it is,
entire life. You feel like it's going to sink.
Going into the water. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm good. Actually, I got a chance to see one of those things up close and personal at one of the shows that we did a few years back. No, thank you.
And if you remember, in 1974, General Motors announced the release of the Monza engine, the rotary engine that was supposed to come out in its sports compact car, which was the Monza car. And the Monza was an evolution of the Vega, but GM had originally planned on putting a rotary engine in it. Yep, that's the amphib car. And that rotary engine they had developed it, ready for production, bolted a transmission on the back of it, and never put it in a vehicle because of the pending emissions controls were on there. They couldn't get, and it was the same problem Mazda had. You really couldn't stop that motor from burning oil because of the way the rotaries were set.
If you look just below the starter is where I threw the rod.
That's where he threw the rod.
Because that's a Monza engine. That a Monza.
And then in 2006, Ford, who owned the rights to the Rover, bought the Rover name from BMW for
Get it out there
for £6 million. But thank goodness Ford never produced a Rover branded vehicle, and Ford turned around and sold both Rover and Jaguar to Tata Motors.
Oh yeah.
So Tata to Ford, and
is that Indian? I think it's Indian.
And to this day, they still have them, and so that's this week in automotive
I'm
history.
not a big fan of Land Rover or Jaguar.
I love the Jaguars. You drove the F-Pace, didn't you?
I did. It was okay.
Oh, I liked it. I think it's a good-looking car. I think there's still a style, a look to a Jaguar car that really attracts me. That Coke bottle look, smooth body.
Kind of like me, that Coke bottle look with the smooth body.
I didn't realize you wanted to talk about your college
No, I don't want to
years.
talk about that. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast source. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written certain price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcome like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday morning, October 16th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and you're invited. Collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods will all be on display. Lupi founder, car collector, and drag racer Stan Holt brings you the coolest Saturday morning cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos. Car show season's just around the corner and time to stretch your car's legs in a fun family event. There'll be plenty of fabulous, fresh, made-to-order Lupi tortilla tacos, hot coffee, and adult beverages, too. This is Houston's coolest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10, and on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby inside the Loop. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, October 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place, coming to you live today from the 3rd annual Woody's Waterfront Car Show in San Leon, Texas.
Rub it in.
Coming up, another guest from today's Judged Car Show. We'll have This Week in Auto History. We'll get you updated. I guess we already did auto history.
We already did auto history.
Well, you know, if somebody requested it again, we could do it again.
Hey, can you do auto history again?